It'll pop up in a second. Good for live stream. It should be good, Madam President.
I'd like to call the meeting to order at 6:31, the Missouri Area Recreation and Park District Board of Directors for October 12th, 2023. First, we're going to be doing our pledge to the flag, and Mrs. Byrne, it is your opportunity.
As you have over your heart, you begin. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. We can please have roll call
Kim Gerald Johnson,
here.
Rebecca Luis Gutierrez,
Present.
Rebecca Rodriguez Burns,
Present.
Edgar Castellan,
Present.
Ross Leja,
Here.
Live presentation.
Thank you. Are there any presentations or recognition?
You got to see.
Are there any comments on items not listed on the agenda? Okay, seeing none, we'll move on to the consent calendar. Are there any questions about the consent calendar? Do I have a motion?
I'll second.
Okay,
Madam President, I'll be abstaining from the minutes as I was not at last meeting.
okay, thank you very much. All those in favor? All those opposed, motion passes 5-0. Now we move on to board action items, and item 5.1 is a workshop on the Rancho River Regional Sports Park. I just wanted to explain to everyone what the structure of the meeting will be, so we all understand. First, staff will give a presentation, then board members can ask questions of staff. Then we will take comments from the public, which will be 3 minutes each. Someone can give their 3 minutes to someone else, and someone can speak for up to 6 minutes. Board members will then ask follow-up questions of staff or the public speakers.
La Junta va entonces a preguntar por más comentarios de la gente pública.
The public is not limited on time if asked a question.
El público no está limitado en tiempo si se le hace una pregunta.
The response should only be on the question asked.
Pero responder debe ser más de la pregunta que le preguntan.
Board members will provide feedback to staff on what they would like to do next.
El comentario le van a dar comentarios de las preguntas cuando.
Before we get, I'll make sure we have the opportunity, if they want to speak, to fill out a card. We have requests for interpretive services that are here. We have headsets that are still available if anybody needs one.
Todas las preguntas van a estar en los papeles que ya llenaron. Le van a llamar su nombre, cada uno cuando tienen que hablar. Si quieren oír la interpretación, aquí está el headset que se pueden usar.
Good.
Okay, Mr. DeWitt, would you like to start with the presentation?
All right, so we're trying to run a workshop for the discussion around the regional sports park. This is in response to public comments received at the September 14th board meeting. I want to give a history of the facility. Rancho Regional Sports Park was constructed under the old Riverside County Redevelopment Agency. Part of the project. Essentially, it was a number of projects here in the Lupa Valley, primarily the Lupa area, that were funded under the now defunct redevelopment agency, and essentially the taxpayers within Lupa Valley are paying back those bonds.
Maybe to give her a chance to say something.
Ok. Hay 6 canchas con luces, 4 canchas con zacate sintética para jugar fútbol. JRPD ha asumido la operación en 2020, parque de abrirse otra vez en 2021, una limitación, usada limitación.
The park under opening 2020 in the Riverside County Parks Department, they were contracted with the redevelopment agency to run it.
In 2020.
2012, I apologize. There's 15 fields there. 6 of the fields have lights,
6 de las canchas tienen
and 4 of
luces.
those fields are synthetic, with one of them having a football overlay.
64 de las canchas son sintéticas para jugar los fútbol.
When the pandemic hit in March of 2020, everything shut down,
Todo se cerró.
and just the district had discussions with the county parks about taking over the operation of it. They were hit,
Con la ciudad.
very hard financially, and were unable,
Muchos planes.
weren't sure how they'd be able to reopen in the future.
No sabían que se iba a poder abrir la parque en el futuro.
In March of 2021, nearly a year later, the state lifted the orders allowing the resume of adult recreational youth play.
Las reglas para que regresen a jugar.
Most plays started shortly after, with the return of most of the youth recreation programs not until the fall.
Las canchas se abrieron y regresaron a abrir después del 2021, cuando regresaron los juegos.
I'll minimize this for us so we can see better. Here's a layout of the facility just to familiarize everybody with us and some approximate measurements of the fields.
Con los medimientos de las canchas.
Fields 1, 2, and 3 are basically the same size. And field
Uno, dos,
4
tres,
is slightly
son
shorter because of
Casi
the slope.
igual. Y 4 y 6 un poquito más amplias.
The issue at hand here, the fields at Rancho Rupa Regional Sports Park were designed for typical traditional soccer layout. Synthetic fields have permanent lines running north
Tienen
to south.
líneas que van del norte a sur.
Several adult groups play small-sided soccer.
Los grupos de adultos están jugando canchas pequeñas,
Which basically is fewer players on a smaller field.
menos jugadores en las canchas pequeñas.
And then historically, they played east to west on the synthetic fields.
Y
With 2
normalmente
games of
juegan
one of the larger
este a
fields.
oeste en las canchas sintéticas, con 2 juegos en la cancha más grande en un tiempo.
The concern is the adult games being played east to west on a field,
El problema es que
adjacent
están
to a field
jugando
being used
este a oeste,
for games or
al
practices
lado
that's
de la
designed
cancha
for
donde
running
están
north to south.
jugando, al lado de donde está sur a norte, al lado de ese
Correct.
norte a sur.
The issue is there's been parents and players that have been hit
Ha
by
habido-
air balls.
Ha habido parientes y jugadores que le han pegado con pelotas.
Staff reached out to Capri, which is our recreation indemnification agency that we're part of,
Han visto
and
ha
explained the
llamado a
concerns.
nuestra seguranza que se llama Capri para explicar lo que ha pasado.
And Capri's advice was to not allow conflicting play at the same time.
Y nos han avisado que no deben de jugar al lado de uno al otro en las canchas.
The staff informed the adult groups in April of 2023 that the
Mhm.
east and west play
El
would
disco
no longer be permitted during traditional field use.
el distrito le ha decidido a los grupos de adultos que no pueden jugar este a oeste desde abril 2023 y no se ha permitido.
So here's some diagrams kind of laying this out to help everybody understand. This would be
Están
field 3 and
los
5.
diagramas que pueden ver.
Field 3 is one synthetic fields, and an example of how a traditional small sided game had been played historically, with practice or games going on in field 5.
Puede ver cómo pueden oír en las canchas número 3, I'm sorry, Field 5, 3 and 5, 3 y 4, en las canchas pueden ver cómo están jugando.
The field sizes, as we talked about earlier, 1, 2, and 3 are roughly the same size at 360 feet long by 210
Las
feet
distancias de
wide.
1, 2 y 3 son 360 pies por 210 pies, 3 y 4 es 360 por 210.
Essentially, the area available for the historic small-sided games was half the field, which would be 210 by 180.
I'm sorry. Can you repeat? Normalmente el size.
Yeah, the 210, historically, the small-sided fields were 210 by 180.
Históricamente, las canchas son más pequeñas, de 210 por 165, la cancha es 3 y 4.
Uh, With the change in direction for the
El cambio de
policy,
dirección, de nueva
the
policy,
fields that the small-sided games are playing on now are shorter than they are
las
wide.
canchas
So
que
they're
están
180
más
feet
pequeñas que
wide,
son
180 feet
Yes.
long by 210 feet wide.
180
Sí.
100 son que son 180 por 210 de amplio.
It just changes the dynamic of the game.
Un cambio dinámico del juego.
Proportionally, if those fields were shrunk down, they'd be 180 by 150 roughly.
Y si las hacemos más pequeñas van a ser 180 por 150, más o menos.
And I think the concern is the group adult soccer league, they play
La
8 on 8, so
preocupación
there's
es-
4 people on the field at a time.
Porque pues, lo que limitan es que quieren jugar más gente con menos espacio.
Some alternate layouts that could be explored. Roughly, these aren't
Estos son
To scale,
ejemplos de
at the left-hand side there, that would be
estos son
180
ejemplos que
by
podemos presentar que
150.
pueden ser un arreglo para ver si pueden convivir.
And then the drawing on the right there, we have a couple of adult leagues that are playing with us on Thursdays and Friday evenings right now that are playing a more of a futsal style game, which is
Uno de
5
la
on 5, with 4 fields on one of the larger
Bueno,
fields.
ese es un ejemplo de los grupos que han jugado con 4 juegos a la vez. Lado por 40.
Some of the contributing factors to this is we've seen a huge growth in youth soccer.
Una de las cosas de las decisiones que han afectado es que hemos visto un crecimiento grande jugando del soccer, fútbol.
Their AYSO has grown from
AYSO
700 players pre-pandemic to about 1,200 right now.
Ha crecido de 700 a 1,200.
We're also seeing a huge expansion of the club soccer program.
También hemos mirado un crecimiento del programa de soccer.
I think we're allocating the fields more efficiently, making sure that, there's very few
El
overtime spots.
distrito ha tratado de dirigir las canchas más eficientes.
Just a review of our field allocation policy for the board, district activities always have first priority.
Nomás para, si se dirige, para enseñar los más importante primero es el distrito, actividades del distrito.
Our community groups have second priority,
El
which is a
segundo.
nonprofit group-based organization.
Segundo de la
80%
importancia es la
rankings.
comunidad de non-profeto.
After that would be a resident group that is
Después de eso
For-profit,
es el
but still
grupo de
meets 80%
residencia o
residency.
80% de residencia.
our last category would be non-resident.
El número 4 es el que no son residentes en el grupo.
One of the big concerns, I think one of the main arguments at the public comments from the last meeting was that the youth play from 6 to 8 p.m.
Que han trabajado
And
6 a 8
After 8
p.m.
p.m. it's only adults there.
y después de las 8 son los adultos.
And that's simply not an
Y
accurate
eso
statement.
no es una palabra, how do you say accurate? Precisa.
So there's a slide for each day of the week, the 10 of our typical field use after 8 p.m. Over the last couple of weeks here, we've been tracking this very closely. And the numbers look backwards, but to coincide with the layout of the field, 1 and 2 are on the east side with 5 and 6
1, 2
on the
al
west side.
oeste, con 5, 6 en el oeste.
So field one on Mondays, Albion is there from
Cancha
6 to
uno.
9, that's a youth program.
que es el programa de niños,
Field
That's
two
what they say,
is
so-
SoCal Elite, which is another youth program, is there from 8 to 10 p.m.
8 a 10, es SoCal Elite, que son también niños de 8 a 10, perdón, están ahí hasta 8 a 10 de la noche.
Field three, AYSO is there from 5 to 10 p.m.
La cancha número 3 están ahí de 5 a 10 p.m. Es
Triple R is there from
Okay.
8 to 10 p.m. on field four.
cancha número 4, Triple R, son las de ahí de las 8 a 10 de la noche.
And then 5 and 6 are AYSO from 5 to 9.
Canchas número 5 y 6 es ahí eso de 5 a 9.
So this is a perfect example. One of the requests was, if they could play north to south, but nobody else is there.
Ese es un
From 8 to
ejemplo.
9, there's overlapping play.
Sí sabe que hay
And even on Monday, from 9 to 10, there's no overlapping play. There's not a
juegos
way this works out that
jugando a la
exactly.
misma vez.
I don't want to go into detail on every single slide for the, respect to time. but I'm going to take some time on each one, just so everybody can look at it closely here. Just to show on Tuesday nights, Triple R is on fields 3, 4, and 2.
Martes Triple R está en las canchas 3, 4 y 2.
We have youth leagues on 1, 5, and 6
Los
till at least
grupos de
9 o'clock.
niños están ahí. Can you repeat the last part?
We have youth on 1, 5, and 6 until 9
1,
p.m.
5 y 6 son los grupos de niños. 5 a 9.
So Wednesday nights is very similar.
Miércoles es casi lo mismo.
Thursday nights, I
Jueves,
want to point out the difference here is
la
Triple R
diferencia
uses
es
field 1
Triple
from
R
9 to
está
10
en la
currently.
cancha número 1.
And then field 2 is it's an adult group called United All
Cancha número
Stars.
2 que
They're
son
from 8 to 10.
United All Stars.
And they're using the
Ocho,
4
10.
fields as we showed
Son las
earlier. running
4
north and south.
canchas. Sur, norte.
This is Friday nights, as you can see, field
Los
4
viernes.
is vacant.
Los viernes en la noche, la cancha número 4 no hay nadie.
Really, Friday nights is the only time that the district could allow Triple R to play the
Los viernes
east-west
son las únicas
direction,
noches que pueden
and we would
podemos dejar que
let field 1 and 2
trabajen
use.
oeste a este.
That's the assumption that field 4 remains vacant. If another
Yeah.
user group wanted to come
Y
in,
eso nomás así,
that could
la cancha
potentially
número
limit that.
4 se queda abierto, no hay otro grupo que quiere usar la cancha los viernes.
Some other things to consider, AYSO, the rec league of their program plays
AYSO.
about 30 weeks a year.
Juegan 30 semanas al año.
During the spring, they'll have their spring select games where Monday through Friday, they're playing almost nightly until 10 p.m.
Durante el verano juegan hasta las 10 de la noche, cada noche.
Staff has recently met with a new youth community group
El distrito ha,
that plans on starting in the spring of 2024.
el distrito ha tenido una junta con una nueva youth community grupo el 20 que va a lo mejor jugar con nosotros el 2024.
Their nonprofit status is already in place, and the registration for their league will not be complete until November, so we don't know if they'll meet the residency status.
Están en proceso en este momento para ver si cualifican.
One of the things from
Una de
day
las
one,
cosas el
back
primer
in
día,
July of 2020, when we
julio
first approved
2020,
the agreement for the operation of the
cuando
Rancho Rodeo
aprobaron
Sports Park. Staff pointed out in that staff report,
contrato de
ultimately,
Rancho
the district
Rodeo
would desire to bring in and start running their own adult soccer leagues at that time.
I'm sorry, Rancho Rodeo, what was the last part?
That the district would be running.
Que el
adult
distrito
leagues
va a
there
estar,
ultimately.
el distrito va a comenzar a dejar que los grupos de adultos usen las canchas.
The district's currently in our master plan process right now, as the board is well aware.
El distrito está teniendo un plan de principal.
We're in the statistically valid survey portion of the process.
Estamos ahorita haciendo los estadísticos, tomando los datos.
And we anticipate
Estamos
the need for
anticipando
future soccer will rank very highly.
que vamos a necesitar más canchas.
So based on those results, we can look at
Basado en
future park
esos, en
development,
estos resultados,
conversion of
podemos mirar
existing
esto,
facilities
podemos mirar en el futuro convirtiendo
to meet our needs.
esos lugares para convertir usando las canchas lo que necesitamos.
Some options the board can consider tonight
Opciones que el distrito puede considerar esta noche.
would be to not change the policy and direction of play
No.
that's in place right now.
No cambiar cómo usan las canchas y la dirección que usan las canchas.
Allow field use at Rancho Cordova Sport Park past 10 p.m.,
Para
essentially starting the adults later.
dejar que los grupos usan las canchas hasta las 10 de la noche,
But this does not completely fix the issue of conflict.
Pero esto no arregla la situación del problema de las canchas y las jugando juntos al lado a lado.
And staff does have concern with the reaction.
Distrito sí tienen- El distrito sí tienen preocupaciones por la gente de what? The residents.
From the red, yeah.
Sí tienen preocupaciones por la gente que vive en la residencia, perdón.
We could allow only the east-west play on fields 1 and 2.
Nomás podemos
And block off
aceptar
3
que
and
usa
4.
esto,
5, 6, and 8.
canchas 2 y 4 después de las 8 y la cancha 6 cerrar para que no usen aquí ese tiempo.
This results in a loss of playable field time, valuable light time, especially during daylight savings time. and
Eso va a
resident
resultar
visitors.
en pérdida de usando las canchas durante el tiempo de la luz.
The district would only allow east-west play on fields 2 and 4 after 8 p.m.
Ah,
And field 6 would be
Distrito
closed
no
for use during this time.
I'm sorry, can you repeat that? The distrito
The district would only allow east-west
nomás va a
play
dejar que pueden
on
jugar
field number 2 and
este
4
oeste número, canchas número 2 y 4
after 8 p.m.
después de las 8
And field 6 would be
y la
closed.
cancha número 6 va a
for
estar
use during
cerrado
this time.
durante este tiempo.
And I can go back to some maps for you guys to help. And then explore options at other facilities with lights.
Y sí, que podemos explorar opciones en otros parques con luces.
Does the board have questions on any of those options you'd like to see on the map or the diagram? No?
Point 3.
Let's go back to the maps.
Vamos a poner las mapas otra vez para poder mirar.
This, I don't think the laser will work on the TV. So the first option would be synthetic field 1 and 2 on the far right.
Las canchas de sintética en
We could allow the
Con el
east-west
izquierda.
play on those
podemos
fields.
dejar este oeste jugando,
But we basically have to use fields 3 and 4 as a buffer and close them down,
pero tenemos que cerrar las canchas 3 y 4,
assuming that there's play on 5 and 6.
presumiendo que va a haber juego en las canchas 5 y 6.
We can look at allowing the east-west play on
Podemos
fields 2
mirar.
and 4
Este oeste jugando en 2 y 4
and closing down field 6 during that time.
y cerramos en la cancha número 6 durante ese tiempo. Puede ser la otra opción.
But again, if during daylight saving time like it is now, that's, we're losing essentially an hour a week of play. And with the growth we're seeing, that would be a challenge.
Pueden tenemos que considerar que vamos a perder 1 hora cuando se cambia el tiempo de la luz. Vamos a perder como 1 hora.
And just for the board's reference, north of fields 1, 3, and 5,
Norte de la cancha 1,
there's
5,
houses.
hay casas de residencia.
There's also houses to the east across Loring Ranch.
Y también hay casas al oeste, al otro lado de Loring Ranch.
That's it.
A quick question,
Yes,
while we're on the
yeah,
drawing.
no problem.
We keep talking about future expansion and more and more teams
Estamos hablando
playing.
de expansión en el futuro y usando más canchas en
Would looking into adding lights on the
mirando
other
que
field
sigamos
areas,
con los buses
be an
en las
option
otras
in the future,
canchas para el futuro.
play and expansion.
It is an option, unfortunately, with the
Yes, sir.
airport just to the northwest of
Hay una
there.
opción, puede
There's
ser
height
opción en el
restrictions.
futuro, pero hay
If-
restricciones de
If you notice
altura
when you're at the soccer park, there's red lights on the existing tower right
Yes.
now because of the airport.
por el- por
I
el-
have the reports, we could only, the lights at, 1 through 6, I believe, are 70 or 80 feet tall. We can only, if they start staggering down from
en las
there,
canchas 1 por 6.
we
hay
can only
luces del
do
aeropuerto.
essentially 7,
Podemos hacer
12, 13, 14, 15,
2, 13, 14, 15
and parts of 8 and 11.
y partes de 8 y
It just has to do with
11.
the airport, so.
No más tiene que ver de la zona del aeropuerto.
Okay, hold on just a second. Are we still asking questions just about this map or are we asking
So
questions?
I'm done. I don't know how you want to handle the questions, Madam
Okay.
President.
Go ahead, Mrs.
I can flip back and forth through anything.
We'll start with you.
You mentioned all these options that we may
Estamos
consider as
mencionando
board.
todas estas opciones.
Are these options, are new options or
Estas son nuevas
have you
opciones.
audience already heard these options or?
Y
They have
ahora
not heard the
publicó las
options because
opciones.
there's been no meetings since the
No hay
last minute.
unas juntas para poder presentar
Not
las
being
opciones.
savvy
que
in
tienen.
soccer and all the information that you provided, thank you, but most of it,
Muchas
I'm
gracias
reading to
por
those that understand that I'm trying to see
Por la
the
información
administration,
para
what
poder
it is that we
entender.
can do tonight.
Okay.
So again, if I may
Okay.
reiterate,
Sí,
these
podemos
options have not
repetir.
been yet presented to the
Estas
audience.
opciones no han
They're
sido
presented to us
presentadas
now.
al público
And we
todavía.
may make a recommendation for
Vamos a
any
hacer
one
una
of these or
recomendación.
any combination of.
Podemos hacer una
Based on the
recomendación,
discussion of the
recomendación,
board,
cualquiera de esas.
There could be a whole
Estas
gamut of stuff considered if you would like, yes.
Sí, podemos
Nothing
hacer
is set in stone.
muchas. Podemos ver todas las
One quick
opciones en
question.
Okay,
nuestra.
hold on just a second, because we've now moved into the board members can ask questions of staff. Have you any more questions, Ms. Burnett, at this time? Okay, Mr. Burgess.
I'm sorry. On fields 12, 13, 14, and 15,
14, 15.
how does that size up for a field for their style of play on the 180 by?
¿Cómo podemos hacer esas canchas para el estilo de que los
They could probably get one of the fields.
podemos hacer una de
The
las
the
canchas?
challenge with the fields to the west of the snack bar area here,
El problema con usando
the
los
pitch of the
sistemas
field
de-
is set for
del oeste.
drainage. So if you stood out there, there's undulations allowed for the fields to drain off. So there's, imagine between the north and the south, there's literally a depression that runs all the way through there between 9 and 10, 8 and 11, 7 and 12, 13, 14, 15, as well as there's runs that run north and south, allow the water to drain off the fields, drains to the middle, and there's large drains down there to take it out of the system. So they wouldn't want to play through it. Yeah.
No, understandable. But since those fields are not permanently marked, is there a way, if we were to be able to put lighting,
Sí, podemos poner
say on
las
7
canchas,
and 12 through 15,
2, 13,
I was
14,
thinking too
15.
fast, let me know.
Mm.
Is there a way that they could
Hay una
configure
manera.
Yes,
their, in that area which would be safe for them to play?
there is some adult groups on Sunday that play short-sided soccer. I don't know
Sí,
the
hay
exact
unos-
field they're
unos
using right
grupos
now, so we do
están
kind of
jugando en
rotate
esos
the layouts out,
canchas
kind of like
en
crop
general.
rotation, so we spread
Y
out
ahora
the
tercero
wear
por
field,
otros grupos.
but it is possible, yes.
So that would not be an immediate fix, but could be a possible fix for
Es posible
future.
que no es
Correct, just
algo
like
muy
looking at
bonito,
other
pero
facilities we
una
have
cosa-
with lights, we can paint fields anywhere,
podemos pintar las-
as long as there's lights.
Madam President, any questions?
Mr. Benitez, do you have any questions? Staff?
What other fields would be considered as an option?
Other parks?
Yes, other parts.
Well, Centennial Park was built as a soccer park. There's not lights there currently. That would be a long-term solution, obviously.
Como una parte de soccer, jugar fútbol,
Avalon Park,
pero no hay luces
it's not in the
encima.
greatest shape right now for soccer.
No
It
está-
does have
no
lights
está
and it's not being utilized heavily.
usado para el juego, y no está usado, no lo están usando mucho.
Veterans Memorial Park
Pero no es park,
has a possibilities of some fields.
tiene posibilidad de unas canchas.
And then even Vernola Park out in the outfield there are soccer fields out there. They have not been historically used.
Tiene canchas, pero no
And some of that again would be working with times because of the youth leagues that are out there.
y tienen que fijarse en el tiempo porque sí hay grupos que están usando el católico.
And some of this could even be that we move
Y a veces
some of the club programs to other
porque ya se
locations as
podemos
well.
mover en
It would
los
be
grupos,
not just the adults that we're considering right
no
now, for
nomás los adultos,
that would be part of that discussion.
que se puede ser parte de esa discusión.
Mr. Castellano?
How many adult leagues are there open?
Entonces,
I believe there's counting Sundays, I believe there is 7.
juntan los domingos hay 7.
And how many have ex, so this has unilaterally types of
Seven, yes.
how many of them have expressed interest in changes?
Otros grupos
Just
han
for one.
tenido el problema de no poder jugar.
I will say the other league reluctantly, our Thursday and Friday night leagues reluctantly changed their direction of play.
Jueves y viernes han cambiado su.
And the groups that are out there on Sundays, there's a couple of them that do play 11-11. So this didn't impact them at all. And the other ones that are able to play on the west side, are already a smaller size field.
Once y no han empacado ellos para nada.
Have any adult leagues left? Oh, I'm sorry. Do you have any more questions?
That's for now.
Okay. Have any adult leagues left because of the change of things?
Andrea, los grupos de
Not to
adultos
my
han
knowledge.
ido porque no han podido jugar como quieren jugar. No,
Okay.
no quieren ser.
Now we will segue to public comments. And so I have,
Comentarios públicos.
oh, I have another question.
Sorry, we're not limited to the questions, but after someone speaks, I think a question. Mentioned that Capri had recommended.
Han mencionado que
this,
mencionado
or
que
what was their position in terms of?
que es
why
la
the
posición
change
que han
began,
tenido
if I'm
ellos
saying
porque
that,
no
that's true.
van a jugar.
Yes, we go back to the other slide here, just a better example. Their recommendation,
En el mapa,
their concern was not with the play going east and west. Their concern was the play going east and west while somebody was playing adjacent to So essentially creating a conflict right
al
there.
mismo tiempo que alguien en la-
Very similar to when sports fields are designed, you wouldn't have a baseball field with soccer playing in the outfield. Those are two conflicting or competing activities. You know, obviously somebody getting hit by a fly ball, not prepared for it. Same concepts are being applied.
Al mismo tiempo,
So
y
are
en
they
las
saying
diferentes
to us,
razones, y se pueden
that,
lastimar ahí.
the liability that would be involved in that is why they make the strong recommendation as.
Correct.
Do we have any record of what those claims are, if any have come through this? I mean, you said at 2020 is when we began with careful so.
There have been no physical claims made against the district. And a claim would be if somebody was hurt, they sought liability, or they sought medical attention, and they were seeking a claim for reimbursement for that. That would be the first step in the public process if they ultimately want to file a suit.
El primer paso para poder tomar un claim.
I did speak with the county today, for the last couple of days. There was one claim filed against the county, but it was settled, and AYSO, who the member was, ultimately paid their medical bills. Yeah, that person had concussion wounds.
Yes, you did. Was there recommendation and then staff brought it to us, or you brought it to us, or how did we conclude that that was valid and we needed to do some changes?
It was brought to staff's attention through a number of concerns that were raised by the youth leagues. We researched it, reached out and got a recommendation from Capri.
Oh, it is the recommendation.
Yes. And I again want to clarify, it's not that we do not allow the east-west play. It's just not allowing it while the traditional play is going on.
podemos decir que no pueden jugar eso.
And I think I hear you
Queremos que
correctly.
jueguen en la misma vez que
I'm sorry.
el norte sur.
I'm
Sorry,
sorry.
that's okay.
The overlap that you suggested is the one that's confusing me. Because you said even with overlap that we would have a problem.
I think it's this layout here that we were talking about and the one on the left. If they were, so right now, imagine they're playing completely on the north side or completely on the south side. The field is wider it is
al norte,
and that
pero
just,
sí es más
it's
largo
confusing. It's
y es un poquito
just like a football field. If it was,
como una
wasn't 100
cancha de
yards long, you're
fútbol,
paying 100 yards wide. It would change the strategy of the game and everything.
cambia de
If they kept the proportions, it makes it about 150 feet wide. They could offset.
150 pies de ancho
Well, again,
y pueden jugar.
not knowing the specifics, so if I don't
No
ask the
sabiendo los
question appropriately,
específicos
I
y no
apologize ahead of time.
pregunto. y
So
no pregunta.
overlapping, not really a
Bien.
solution overall. There was a lot of other factors.
It's an
Al
option.
mismo tiempo no,
It's
no es la
from a
solución,
liability standpoint,
no,
one of the concerns
no
that was
es una
raised during the
opción,
public
pero
comments
es el
was that
riesgo
balls
que
were
se
now
puede
flying and hitting them in the back of the head.
de-
And this
de
would
la cabeza,
reduce that,
y esto puede
but you're still
reducir
playing back to
la
back.
causa de un accidente.
But it's that back to back. I mean, in my own simple mind, I said, well, back to back.
It's back to back and it's the same concept here. Where you have back to back, where you have the player spectator sitting on the east sideline,
la cancha y
that are watching the game that we're being.
están mirando el juego y le pueden pegar.
These are spectators that.
Spectators, players and referees, yeah.
Gente que mira el juego, la gente, los referees, la gente que está jugando.
Okay, are we done with questions for?
jugando.
Okay, hearing nothing from my board, I will go ahead and we'll move on to our public comments. Remember,
Documentos públicos.
staff member, Whitney will be timing you, so, she will, do you have a timer that's gonna go off? Okay, so timer's gonna go off when your 3 minutes is up.
Hacer un tiempo para poder hacer sus comentarios en 3 minutos de hacer sus comentarios y después se puede regresar a sentar.
But Lorena may ask you to ask for a second, if she needs clarification on the term.
There these three, so these two people, okay,
What they give you.
you have, you need that to give it.
Yeah, I wrote it down.
I would like to give my 3 minutes to Mario. And I would like to give my, okay, you can only give one set of 3 minutes to another person, so you get both of these people are saying you're gonna get the Richmond 3 minutes. He can only speak for 6 minutes.
I'll take the other 3 minutes.
Okay, and your name?
Petra?
Please remind me when you get up. Thank you. Thank you. And, Mr. Richmond, if you want to remind me too when you get up so that I don't forget that you have 6 minutes instead of 3. Okay, the first person is, and you know, I'm not the best at handwriting, so please forgive me, as Adela Marquez. Yes. Okay. Yes, you can just stand at the podium. Yes, we appreciate it. Thank you.
Good evening, everyone. Buenas tardes. My name is Adela Marquez. I've been playing at the Hoopla Fields for 10 years. 10 years with Triple R, 5 years with United All-Star League. And I'm here to speak about the topic I have, which has gone not only from the field formation, but we did change our locations from playing on fields 1 and 2 to switching us to
Las canchas 1 y 2.
5 and 6, I believe.
5 y 6.
Our times did also change. We went from playing
También
7
cambiaron
p.m. and 8 p.m. to
7 a 8.
8 p.m. and 9 p.m.
9 a 10.
And now with the field formation changing and making the field
Ahora que ha
smaller,
cambiado la población de las canchas y han hecho más chico.
I've been a goalie for 15 years, and from a goalie's perspective, the way we are being forced to play now has become a safety issue for us.
Que nosotros
which
fuimos
we never
forzados
had
de
before.
jugar.
The formation is now set to where the goals are being placed back to back.
Información
So as
que
a
las
goalie,
goles
I'm
están
facing this way, the goalie playing on the field behind
al
me
lado de
is facing this way. So when balls are being
y las
kicked,
pelotas se están
I'm being
pegando,
hit with the ball behind
ellos
the
se
net,
le están pegando
or
con
the
la
other
cabeza,
players being hit with the ball
y
behind the head.
el otro-
And, That's now become a safety issue.
Ahora es una preocupación.
It's already hard enough finding female goalies. And
Es difícil.
I myself
encontrar
don't want to put
mujeres de gol.
myself at a life-threatening injury risk.
Quiero ponerme
All we
en
ask
otra
is to
situación.
return our formation, our field formations back to the way we used to play.
Regresa las canchas.
Because we didn't have an issue until recently these past 2 years.
En los últimos 2 años.
And well, that's all I have to say. on
Esto es lo
that.
que tengo que decir.
Thank you for listening.
The next person is Juan Pablo Soto.
Juan Pablo Solo.
Sí.
Buenas tardes, noches a todos. Bueno, ya me han dado hace unas 2 semanas.
¿Usted ha hablado 2 semanas?
Hace 2 semanas.
Usted habló.
Sí.
He spoke 2 weeks ago.
Y sí, expuse todos los problemas que nos inquietan a nosotros como jugadores
Issues that we had as players.
y todo lo que hemos estado hablando de todo lo que verdad nos compete, que es la
And everything that
posición
we talked
de las
about
canchas.
is what we're talking about, the position of the field.
Seguimos pensando que no tiene nada de sentido.
We still think that it has no sense.
De igual manera nos están afectando en nuestro momento recreativo,
They are affecting his recreation time.
pero esta vez voy a enfatizar en una situación personal.
He's going to talk about a personal,
Hace como 1 año, no recuerdo,
about a year. He
en
doesn't
el
remember.
parque estábamos jugando un domingo
¿Usted estaba en el parque?
ajá,
He was at a park playing on a Sunday.
y yo junto con mi hermano y tu novia estábamos ahí
His brother and his girlfriend were there.
y llevamos una hielera y llevamos unos refrescos y unas cervezas.
We took an ice chest, some beers,
Ya nos habían advertido siempre los encargados de la liga del domingo
but they'd already warned them.
los encargados de la liga en la que jugábamos anteriormente ya nos habían dicho que no podíamos tomar cerveza.
Told them before and warned them that they cannot be drinking alcohol.
El domingo es nuestro día de descanso y
On
quisimos,
Sunday,
hace mucho calor,
it was hot.
llevamos cerveza y abrimos un pan. Nos equivocamos.
They
Disculpa eso.
opened a pack by mistake.
No lo debimos de haber hecho.
We
Y
should not have done it.
el señor presente, Colby, llegó y nos abrió nuestra hielera.
Colby came,
Nos
opened the igloo,
dijo que no podíamos hacerlo, cosa que
could
está
not
muy,
drink.
muy bien hecho, pero en la manera en que lo hizo,
He's
que nos
agreed.
pareció muy irrespetuosa.
The way he did it was very disrespectful.
Nosotros teníamos la culpa por estar haciendo lo indebido, nos
He
pareció
understands
muy
that he was
irrespetuoso,
their fault.
pero
Respetuoso. Or
irrespetuoso.
he felt that Colby was very disrespectful when the way he did it.
Y lo que no nos parece es que debimos haber sido
He doesn't
Culpados.
understand that we were
mi hermano y yo y su novia, que éramos los que abrimos las cervezas, y no el encargado de esa liga, porque después de ese problema, le quitaron la liga, se fueron varios equipos, entre ellos el de
we think
nosotros,
that they should be blaming him and not the league itself, because after this happened.
y ahora le quitaron la liga.
So the league was kicked out.
Ahora hay otra liga igual domingo, igual a veces vamos a esa otra liga,
So that sometimes he goes to a different league
y igual están tomando cerveza. Ya nosotros no lo hacemos.
and they are drinking beer.
Nosotros ya no lo hacemos, pero hay gente que igual lo hace. Entonces no vemos,
He doesn't do it anymore, but there are other people that do it.
no vemos sentido. Vemos que lo del señor tal vez es algo personal con
And
el
he feels that it's
encargado,
something personal from
la persona que tenía la liga.
the person that had the league before.
No nos parece para nada justo.
He doesn't
Seguimos,
feel that. Okay, that's
bueno, y esto deberían de quitarlo de We Want Your Ideas porque tenemos ideas, no nos escuchan y entonces no tiene sentido que lo tengan aquí.
It's Pat Minson.
I want to show of hands of any of you that play soccer. Any of you that been at that field playing soccer. Just a few of you. And before you tell you a little bit about our soccer family, from my perspective, this old lady come in all shapes, sizes, colors, playing abilities and ages. We're daughters, sisters, aunts, wives, partners, mothers, and grandmothers.
esposas,
We're doctors, lawyers, nurses, first responders, teachers, principals, mail carriers, real estate agents, campus supervisors, warehouse workers, childcare providers, administrative assistants, and business owners. We travel from Orange County, San Bernardino County, Norfolk, Pomona, Menifee, Temecula, Paris, Hennett, Riverside, Moreno Valley, Beaumont, and Palm Springs. No matter the distance, for the past 13 years, we've come and we have chosen Aruba County to play the sport we love so much. And for our loyalty and dedication to our sport, on August 21st, you changed the direction in which we play. You made the distance from sideline to sideline wider than the distance from goal to goal, which is ridiculous. On August 28th, you took away still standing and elites half of the scheduled paid playing field. We paid for that field. And you gave it to a youth sports team so that they could practice. And because you turned off the lights on their fields. And you made 2 scheduled games, playing in quarterfinals, play on a quarter of a field each, side by side. That's dangerous. To add insult to injury, on September 11th, we noticed a banner hung on the fence at the park advertising the forming of a new adult soccer league and placed the same information on your website. This is nothing more than a show of disrespect to the existing Harupa Adult Soccer League players who continually pay to play. The owners of the Triple R Sports who organized the existing league, the referees, and our fans. Yes, we have fans who come to support us every single week. My question to you are these. When did you decide that we don't matter? Who was it that decided that we don't matter? Is it because of our age? We are an example to those youth out there, showing them that in our 30s, our 40s, our 50s, some of us are in our 60s. We have some ladies that are in their 70s, and we're still out there playing. We have balls flying over from the youth, hitting us in the head. But we don't complain. I invite you to come out and watch us play. Better yet, join one of our teams so you can understand how ill-conceived the setup of our fields are as they stand today.
Juan Carlos.
Buenas tardes a todos. Bueno,
Everybody,
ya mi hermano habló un poco
my brother already spoke,
de la situación
the
personal
situation personal
que tuvimos,
that we had.
pero también quiero enfatizar
The same thing I want to illustrate.
en que todo esto no tiene sentido.
This doesn't make any sense.
No deberíamos estar aquí.
We shouldn't be here.
Si ustedes pueden ver, hay más de
We can see
35
there's more than
personas
35 people,
que representan más de 300
300
que jugamos todas las semanas en el parque
that plays every
y
week
solo
at
hay
the park.
una persona
There's one
en
person
contra de nosotros.
that's against us.
Entonces, no tiene sentido.
Because
No es porque somos mayoría,
not because we're the majority.
sino porque es el sentido común dicta que no hay ningún problema en la manera en que nosotros jugamos.
In the way that we play,
Ya lo hemos dicho muchas veces.
we've already
Es
said
un
it many
deporte como
times.
cualquier otro.
It's the sport.
Pueden haber accidentes y el balón va a correr para todas las
And the
direcciones.
ball's gonna go in every direction.
No podemos manejar quién se va a golpear, quién no. Van a haber accidentes en algún momento.
The ball,
Pero no tiene sentido Jugar en la forma que nos lo están pidiendo.
To play in the form that you are asking
Si
to play.
ustedes, como comité, quieren velar por el bienestar,
If
de
you
la-
all
del
want
Parque de Jurupa,
to comment,
nosotros formamos parte de ellos también.
the Park of Jurupa,
Y también velamos por el bienestar de nuestros niños y de todas las personas que nos llegan a ver. Porque como dijo la señorita,
del bienestar de los niños,
el bienestar de los niños.
they're also concerned of the well-being of their children.
Sí, créanme que son los hijos y los amigos o amigos de
We
nosotros
believe that it's our
y ninguno se levanta esa mañana y dice, hoy voy a golpear a ella con un balón.
in the morning thinking they're
No.
gonna hit somebody in the,
Nosotros queremos ir a hacer
hit somebody
deporte
with a ball. No, we
después
love the
del trabajo
we wanna go play
y vamos a
after
cuidar,
the
vamos a
job.
velar siempre por la seguridad de absolutamente todos los que estemos ahí.
Pero son muy rápidos.
Vamos a velar por el bienestar y la seguridad de todos.
We wanna make sure everybody's safe, and for
Y la
everybody.
seguridad. Y nada más lo que queremos
All we wanna know.
es que nos den jugar como jugábamos antes.
Give us a
Nunca hubo un
place to play
problema.
like we did before, there was no other problem.
Y eso es lo que estamos alegando ahorita.
And
Muchas
that is what we're
gracias.
discussing right now.
Buenas noches.
Carla O'Hare? O'Hare? Is it O'Hare? O'Hara. Oh, okay.
I'd like to advocate for the soccer league, Jack Bethel. I've been playing with them for years and I cannot say enough nice things. They have provided a place for folks like me to stay active way beyond what I ever thought I would have ever had access to. It is the highlight of my week. It is organized, everyone cleans up after each other, they take care of each other, we built some very lasting bonds. In 13 years of playing, I've never seen a fight, a police car, or a fire truck. People talk, and if they work hard to it fast, trust me, the old folks know everything. Our society focuses on keeping children active and healthy, and the best way to promote that is to provide adults doing just that as role models. Please allow us to continue to compete in a safe and productive way without compromising the integrity of the game by requiring illogical field dimensions or coming up with undocumented random complaints. Thank you.
Yeah. Yes,
La
sir.
dirección que están
No last name. Edgar, no last name.
¿En español?
En mi experiencia
In
como
his experience,
jugador profesional y
like a
referee de
professional player and a referee,
tengo años
I have years
perteneciendo acá y nunca he
belonging
visto
to
ningún
the-
accidente,
I've never
ningún
seen
tipo
an accident
de irrespeto hacia
or
las personas que
disrespect.
están afuera de las canchas.
or affected the people outside
La
of
mayoría de
the
mi semana
field.
estoy en las canchas y
When-
no
when it-
tiene
The
lógica
majority of the time I'm outside
la
of the
forma en que
field.
estamos jugando en este momento por el tipo de
Because it makes
accidente y la
sense with the way
posición
they're playing
en
and
que
the
están los
position that they're
arqueros,
playing.
adultos y señoras, señoritas adultas
Women, young ladies.
por el tipo de accidente. De
Right.
forma de este a oeste, nunca ha habido ningún
There
problema.
has never been an
Y se ha
issue or
jugado
an
con
accident
normalidad.
from playing east to west.
Y anteriormente, la Liga de los Domingos también fui testigo. Anteriormente, en la Liga de los Domingos, alrededor de 2 años,
In the games of on Sundays in the last 2 years,
el señor presente
the president
abre hieleras de una forma irrespetuosa,
opens the igloos in a disrespectful way,
dirigiéndose a las personas de forma agresiva.
speaking to the individuals in an aggressive form.
No justifico la forma de la que el señor
Doesn't
se expresa.
justify a way that the gentleman expresses himself.
Simplemente la gente toma cerveza, no está bien o está mal,
Simply people drink beer.
pero esa no es la
It's
forma de
not
actuar.
right or wrong, but it's not the proper way to act.
Soy referee en esta liga y también jugador y nunca ha habido ningún problema y espero que
I'm a
podamos llegar,
referee in this league and a player, and he expects that we
podemos llegar a un acuerdo
expect
Para
an
poder-
agreement
para poder jugar otra vez nuevamente.
that we can play again.
Que todos los jugadores se sientan a gusto nuevamente
That
en esta
other
liga.
players feel comfortable again
Muchas gracias.
in this league.
Was I anywhere close?
On it, nicer.
Yeah, okay, well.
So I play soccer on the Monday nights from 8 p.m. to 9 p.m. The Triple R League, which has been running for the last 13 years without having any issues. They're new to the league. And starting this past year, the orientation and performance of the field have changed. I would equate it to playing ping pong in the wrong orientation. For someone who has played soccer since childhood, this is very disorienting and confusing. This is not how soccer is played. And I just want to say, I'm not sure who this change benefits, but it certainly
Seguro
not.
que beneficiar este campo.
Anna Weatherford.
My name's I've played soccer for 30 years. I've also played soccer in Southern California, all around here. I currently play on the teams at Rancho Felipe Park. Monday, Wednesday, and Thursday. That means I have a game tonight with some of the fine people in this room that I expect to be much more fun than this. The field changes have disrupted all of my soccer teams. The new layouts, yes, layouts, there's more than one, are disorienting and frustrating. I'm playing something now, but it's not soccer. It's like soccer. This league has been going for 13 years. It's a community group. People bring their friends and family. They come with an understanding of the sport and an assumption that errant balls do sometimes fly. Having just moved back to Southern California 2 years ago, I've made new friends through my teams. And I'm very grateful for the community that Mario, Debbie, and Fernando have built with Triple R. Even in professional sports games, it is understood that errant balls might hit players or spectators, but they don't change the score or the field or the format because of that. And then one thing that struck me was that in the before picture, it seemed to allow 3 games. In the after picture, it seems like 6 games could be going concurrently. That seems like a public safety issue in and of itself. Last thing, we referenced futsal size fields. I played a lot of futsal. That's 5v5. We're playing 7v7 on 5v5 field. So that's it.
All right, Audrey Green.
Hi, my name is Audrey Green. The first thing I do want to say is no disrespect to the interpreter here, but knowing Spanish myself, he does lack a lot of attention to fine detail that we have expressed, as well as for the presentation from today. So that kind of can outlay our understanding of it for those who do not speak or understand English. I've lived down the street for 30 years. Was born and raised here. I played on multiple teams throughout the years, different sports. Soccer has been my diehard sport. However, you know, I played basketball, soccer, running, you name it, I played it with you guys here. The change that has been come, like everybody has stated, it is more of a disturbance to the players on the field and a safety concern to us playing than to the spectators. I do bring my children, my 4 children, my dad, who is just out of surgery, and he's outside watching me play as well. And they are also understanding of flying balls that happen all the time in soccer. One thing that I do want to state is playing north and south, practicing is not always going to be north and south. I've played for several years. On practice days, you don't only go north and south. You run drills this way, that way, this way, this way, run around the whole entire field. We're not going north and south the entire time. We're going east, west, south, you name it. So the fact that you are saying people are going north and south and we are going east and west, I would invite you out to my soccer game tonight at 9 o'clock to go watch us play and go watch the practices that are happening, because that is incorrect information. I also want to ask what complaints, other than the one that you have stated, that somebody got a concussion, where those complaints, I would like to know those personally, because like I said, I have been around this facility and several other facilities for 30 years, and I don't have any complaints to the way that we have played for over 13 years. And it seems to me that this is more of a personal matter that has caused safety concerns to us as players. Thank you.
Lori Todd.
forma de.
We're about to start.
Thank you all for giving the time to listen to
Por
me.
darme el tiempo para.
So I've been a soccer coach, a ref, and a soccer adult soccer player, a youth person since I was 5 years. I played with Av Brownfield. Sadly, they're not there anymore.
He jugado.
My children are also club soccer players. I sit as a spectator. You know how many times I've gotten hit by a soccer ball? I try to position myself, it does not matter. North, south, west, 306 degrees, they're fun everywhere. I have been playing for the last 10 years and I've never seen the parking lot so full. I mean, I have to park like in one, like that far, you know? And you guys are so concerned over safety when there's like so many teams. And I understand that COVID hit financially, you need all these teams. I'm a business owner. I need all the clients I can get. That is a huge major consistency. I go down the sidewalk and I'm getting hit by balls by youth people. You think as adults, we don't know how to aim a ball? You does not know how to aim a ball. You know, it's just the way it is. And the worst part about it is that I pay from 8 to 10 to play. And I go to the bathroom and it's 9:30 and it's closed. I mean, I have to pee like everybody in the bush to go pee on. And that is unacceptable right there. It doesn't matter how you change or structurally change where we're gonna play the field. Somebody's going to get hit by a ball. You go to a baseball game, if you're in the front row, you better get the glove, you better catch that ball. Soccer is soccer. You say, park at your own risk, sit at your own risk.
Siéntese allí y miren el juego.
So, please, I am 42 years old. My distressor is to go out and play. I go out and now I'm just like, I don't even play. And these poor people right here who have grown and grown and you want to shut them down like that? That is not right. It's not fair. And for us, you're saying, oh, we're not you. Oh, you're not to this tier. You're over here.
Ustedes son en el nivel, están abajo.
We all pay. I pay taxes.
Nosotros
You pay taxes.
nosotros pagamos taxes.
Allow us to play right. Don't mess up our form.
Déjenos jugar como
All we ask is for you all to be fair.
no estamos jugando, estamos pidiendo que seamos justos.
Jose Saldana.
Can they request a minimum now because they have to go?
Okay, what is your name?
Buenas tardes, Fernando.
Fernando,
Hola, buenas tardes. No, que nada, muchísimas gracias por
Thank you for
mira que se fue.
Did you do one of these?
haber aquí.
That's fine.
Buenas tardes. Primero que nada,
first of all,
muchas gracias por darnos la oportunidad de estar aquí
thank you for allowing me to talk
y a todos los que deben escucharnos.
and give us the opportunity to talk.
Soy el director general de la Liga Triple R Sport
I am the director of Triple R Sports.
y les comparto un poco de las inquietudes que tenemos sobre jugar en lo que sur. Como ya nos lo expliqué anteriormente,
I'd like to share some of the issues. Perdón, ¿me lo puedes repetir?
como lo han recibido la gente anteriormente,
Some of the people that have already repeated and mentioned.
en vez de haber
Instead
soluciones, lo que ha
of
hecho
being
el
solution
director,
of what the
creado más
director has
problemas.
done, there's been more issues.
Uno de ellos es que ha habido porteros, han golpeado en la cabeza como lo hablamos.
One of the issues, porteros, goalies, one of the issues is one of the goalies has been hit in the head.
Nosotros siempre hemos tratado de trabajar con ellos y
We've
buscar
always
una
tried to
solución.
work with them to find a solution.
Le hemos dado opciones, y
We
los
have given them
espectadores,
options.
los papás se mueven hacia
But
otro
the
lado,
spectators and the parents go to another side,
pero al parecer él se niega a escucharnos. Simplemente nos
but
dio
he
largas,
refuses to hear us.
nunca nos dio respuesta.
We
Le
never
mandamos
gave us a
correo,
result.
no nos dio
We
respuesta.
send them emails and never receive any response.
Yo como manager, yo trato de ser respetuoso con la gente porque trato con la gente.
Me, myself, as like a manager, I try to be respectful of all.
Él hizo la liga de los minutos, una
We did on Sunday to the league is disrespectful.
abrió las hieleras sin permiso, parqueaba las
opened-
mochilas,
He opened the igloos without any permission and clipped the backpacks.
nos hablaba de una forma grosera.
He spoke to us very disrespectfully. Tuesday.
Y te digo, yo como el trato con la gente, yo jamás haría eso, porque lo primero que me
And since
enseñan
I
es
deal with the
tratar bien a la gente.
public, I would never do anything like that, because the first thing that I learned is to treat the people with respect.
Me faltarán minutos para decirle a todo lo que nos han hecho en su grupo. Anteriormente, el jueves pasado, quebraron 2 porteros de nosotros.
¿A quién queremos?
El grupo del manager de grupo.
The manager of Haruka quebró los goals, the goalies,
Sí.
maintenance, oh, the maintenance, one of the maintenance broke
Las
one of their
redes.
goalies,
Las redes,
and the rail, the goals, and the net. What, qué día?
el jueves pasado.
This
past Thursday.
Thursday, this past Thursday, the goalies were broken.
A veces no contestan nuestros correos,
They don't answer our emails,
nos cancelan de último segundo.
they cancel us at the last minute.
Y yo creo que no es el trato que debemos recibir nosotros.
We
Y en
shouldn't be
general,
receiving
como
that type of
personas,
treatment.
ese trato que hemos recibido. Es
That's why,
todo.
like
Muchas gracias
people,
por la
we shouldn't be
oportunidad.
treated this way. Thank you for the opportunity.
Yeah, my name is Eduardo Carrasco. Eduardo Carrasco.
Okay.
Yeah, you need to go.
If you'd like to speak, please.
Yeah, that's, my name is Eduardo Carrasco. I'm professional referee. Actually, I'm working on National Inter-College Soccer Official Association around the country. And I worked for many years at Triple Sport. Someone told me that the leagues no longer work it on Sunday in the park. Someone told me that the player drank beer or alcohol. When I worked with Triple Sport until after COVID, I never saw anyone drinking beer or alcohol.
Tomando alcohol o cerveza.
I didn't see any person or security checking this.
Nunca he visto una seguridad o persona.
Before working as referee with Triple Sport, one of my working conditions was precisely not to accept players drinking beer or alcohol.
He tenido
Unprofessional.
exceptar una persona que se está tomando cerveza o alcohol.
All this was a surprise to me.
Y esto fue una
I
sorpresa.
don't understand.
Yo no entiendo.
I don't understand. I need to explain me.
Alguien tiene que
Sorry, I need to go. Explain me a Triple Sport manager or somebody.
alguien de Triple Sport quiere que me
Thank you so much.
Okay, Mr. Saldana.
Yes.
Okay, we're
Good
gonna.
afternoon, everyone. I'm making sure I have something on my phone, but by listening to everything right here, I think this is personal. Or everything that they put right there, the changes, I go there Monday, Tuesdays, Wednesdays and Thursdays. I got teams. I even play myself on Tuesdays. I'm 45, actually 48. And you know what? The change they did doesn't change anything. Everybody's got to get hurt. And I think now the way they put it, players get more hurt now, the way it is right now, than before. I think that everybody knows that when you enter the park, you gotta get hit. You gotta get hit, and I mean, can't complain for that. You don't wanna get hit, grab your kid and go home, and then come back later. So, and I know we gotta take care of the kids too, because I got kids, and I've been coaching the soccer club for almost 10 years. And you know what, like we say that first is residential soccer club, and I know it's like 80% have to be residential, but if you do your work, and you check, you'll say that almost 100% of the clubs, they don't have 80% of the residential right there. We all know that, and you know that. They're supposed to be paying right there, or they pay more money for the lights, because they come from the club. So I know they don't do their job. This, what I hear about Sundays, things he have done, and they ask him to raise the hand with his soccer, he didn't raise the cent. This is personal. That's not the way I see it. Us as adults, we love playing too. We like playing. We work hard to keep our kids playing. A lot of the parents that are here, they got kids playing right there on the on the same field. They're
Muchos de
practicing.
los parientes de aquí.
And you know what? We come from work so stressed, and that when we play, we get home and we're ready for next day to play. So I'll be honest, I've been there for for almost 5 years, and the changes, it doesn't change anything.
No cambia nada.
I'll be honest. We get hit by the soccer ball from the club, or even by our teams. That's the way it is in the park. It's like you go to a baseball game. You got get hit by a baseball, if you don't have a glove. Now you're not gonna sue the park. Like you know that the ticket says you might get hit. Put a big sign right there. You know what? You enter the park and you're on risk. That's simple. That's so simple. It's that simple. But I see it, it's personal. And this Kobe has something personal against the league or somebody else. And I mean, that's the way I see it. Because the way that they're changing it doesn't help. Doesn't help. If I say, you know what helps a little bit, it doesn't, and it's worse because players get more hurt the way it is right now than before. That's the way I see it. And now when I go on Mondays, Tuesdays, and Wednesdays, and I see the crowds practicing, the balls are flying everywhere. Everybody get hit. Everybody. Don't complain. Because I know that they're practicing. But I'll be honest. We got the right to go play too. But it's not about that we're old and all that. It's not a problem. The problem is he has something personal against us. That's the main thing. I'll be honest. So I mean, nothing that changed over there has nothing better for them. Thank you.
We just have to go, so.
Yeah, thank you. So my name is Mike Correa. I've been a resident here in this area for like 33 years. Back in the day, I worked a lot closely with Rod and Nina. We built the ASO back in the day in the third field, right? I read for ASO, I coached them, and ever since throughout the years, I coached in all the recreational leagues and club leagues in the area. For me to come here and spend my time listening to this is embarrassing. That a board supervise and push a community in a sport to this. It's embarrassing. This should be happening. You guys should be home. Finish the agenda. You should be home, but this shouldn't be a field play. Simple. Okay. It's a sport. It's like anywhere. There is thing. You guys mentioned development. Okay. We've been asking for parks since I moved here. And Urupa Valley has always shorted us in parks. Soccer's here to stay. It's growing. It's gonna keep growing. The problem is parks. We need more parks. You mentioned lights. We have parks. They're there. Why don't they have lights? We've known 30 years ago, we needed parks. We built parks and we don't put lights in them. People, the problem is, it's not here. The problem is over here. You get a lot of money. I've seen the schools grow. I can't even put parking to my grandkids down the school. You get a ton of revenue. Let's start earning our revenue. Let's start earning our paycheck and do your citizenship. They're all right. Okay, and this about disrespecting them and taking things personal. You hold a public office. They're addressing you. Okay. If I was you, I think twice about it. Okay, you owe these people a little bit more than that. You represent the community. Just do our job right. Ross has been here a long time, and Dina, obviously, they've been doing something right. Okay. So thank you very much. Everybody have a good evening.
Did Mr. Korea have a split in here?
So, yeah.
Awesome. So when I come to it. Charles Street.
My name is Charles Siri. I've been playing soccer since my youth. I was about 4 or 5. And I believe this format of play is very disruptive and unsafe. Just yesterday, the ball's flying to our field since we're playing back to back. None of us are listening. We don't have a chance to react. It's pretty hard to, try and warn somebody about 40, 50 yards away that a ball's coming your way. So I believe that is the most unsafe way to play. I don't believe there's a reason for it. I feel like we should go back to the original style of play. I've never in my life played where the width of the field is longer than the length of the field. It doesn't make sense. It is very disorienting.
Donde han jugado al ancho menos amplio.
And thank you guys.
Gracias. Richard Saldana.
Good evening, everyone. Well, I've been playing at Hope for almost a year.
He jugado
And I've been coaching for almost 12 kids that were 8 years old and now they're playing at Hope at 23 years old and I still coach them on Thursdays.
16 años.
I'm making both that thinking again, because they're still there. There's kids.
Sus
Right.
niños tuvieron están ahí.
First thing that I'm going to tell you is the safety issue, because on Wednesdays and Fridays, we have boys.
Viernes,
Imagine that a goalie being a lady and the ball comes from behind her
una pelota
from a man that knows how to take a hard shot
y un hombre que le-
and the kid hits her in the back of the head or a defender on the goalie. That's one safety issue. The other safety issue is the fields are smaller. You have all the players bunch up in that area right there because the main target, it's right here. And everything's bunched up right there. You have all those players fighting for the ball right there, because the way they changed the field, making it difficult for all the players to just kick each other, hit each other, because the zone got this small. So everyone's waiting for the ball and all the plays going on here. Yeah, you have all that width, yeah, but the goals are right here. It doesn't help. It's just making it more dangerous for everyone. All the ones that are playing. And I'll tell you another thing. I got grandkids. One of them is 3 years old, the other one's 8 months old, and they're there every Thursday. And we know the risk. We just gotta be careful. Now, the rest of the parents gotta do the same from the other training that's going on the sides. You have side of one of the fields where they can be training and you can have the parents sitting on the bar on the other side by the fence, by the street. Where they can be sitting, they don't get hit in the back of the head because we're playing on this side of the field. And then the other side, you can sit them on the other side of the opposite field, so they don't get hit in the back of the head, those parents. While we play our game the right way, and I think everybody will be safe. The players that are playing ourselves, and the parents, and the kids that are playing for the clubs. Thank you.
Take a short break.
Hey.
stand behind the podium. I was gonna go over these stuff.
Next person is gonna be Maria. Robles. Here. Okay, I just want to let you know who next person was. And if you want to be ready, the next person after that is gonna be Eduardo Roscoe.
He just spoke in that word.
Okay, very good. The next person is gonna be Edgar M on Mission Rockway. I'm afraid okay,
Mission driveway?
we'll start up in just a moment.
It's what they.
Mr. Chibnall.
8:52.
Okay, we will resume our meeting at 8:52. Thank you.
Thank you. Hello, good evening. My name is Maria.
7:52, sorry,
On that one.
7:52. I'm so sorry. Okay, go ahead.
Hi, good evening. My name is Maria Robles Gonzalez. I've lived in the city of Dorito Valley for 26 years. My children grew up here playing sports. They played sports their whole life. I myself have been playing in this league for over 10 years now. I come here as a member of the community and current user of the soccer fields and ask that you revoke the regulations to our fields and league. This new field formation was unfair and prohibited us from playing soccer the way it was played, and it's a safety risk for our players. Both in our community, sports, especially when it comes to youth programs, is important, but I don't understand why it's kind of a sacrifice of an existing soccer. Again, I ask that you give us fair play fields, just like every other community in our community. And I also wanted to know, I did, hear you say that you have other parks, there are other options, like Memorial Park, Avalon Park. I'm sure you've been to those parks. Those are baseball fields. Again, my kids grew up playing, we played there, right now they're using them for football. My kids play football there too. So that's not something that we can utilize right now. Maybe in the future, I don't understand how you're trying to change that. Avalon Park, the same thing. You have fields there, but the fields are, there's holes everywhere. You really can't play. I've played there in the past. They're not safe fields to play either. So I appreciate the fact that you are looking out, but those are not realistic. The problem is now, the people that are utilizing the fields are there now. And what you guys are doing to our community, what you guys are doing to our league, it's very disruptive and it's unfair. So I just ask you guys to reconsider, and please consider, we are adults. We come home stressed from work. This is my stressor. I play 3 times a week, Monday. I play at other leagues as well, but I don't want to stop playing. This is, I live here. It's close to my community. I put my kids through. So please, I ask you guys to reconsider and give us the fair playing fields that we deserve. Thank you.
Hola.
Gracias por permitirme expresarme aquí.
Express myself.
Me parece que esto es algo personal que tiene
I feel
la
that this is
persona aquí
something
presente.
personal that this person present has
Con la liga.
with the league.
Desafortunadamente a mí me tocó estar ese año que
I
él
was
fue
there that
a
year.
patear las bolsas.
When he
Hielera.
went to kick the ice chest and the backpacks.
Mi hielera fue una de las que revisó él.
My ice chest is one of the ones that he checked.
A las personas de enfrente llegó él y
The
pateó
people
sus
that
bolsas
were-
para ver si había alguna botella, se
The
imagino.
backpack to see if there was a bottle, he imagines.
Considero que una persona de en tu puesto no debería hacer
Consider
eso.
that a person in your stature should not have done that.
Pero bueno,
But okay,
tengo aquí cerca más de 10 años también
he's here
jugando con
for
la liga.
10 years.
Nunca
playing
hubo un
with the league.
problema.
There's never been a problem.
Mi hijo ha jugado en los clubes que han entrenado ahí.
My son has
También
played
hubo un problema.
in the groups and there's never been an issue.
Ahora mi hijo ya tiene 19 años
My
y juega en la
son-
liga de él.
19, he plays in ¿qué liga?
En la,
In his league, the gentleman's league. No.
nada más eso. Parece que
That's
estamos
all I need
haciendo
to
algo
say.
personal. Y
He
no
thinks
está
it's
bien.
something personal.
Al señor Todd.
Mr. Colby.
Esto, muchas gracias.
Okay, thank you.
Ray Hill Crystal? Is Ray Hill Crystal still here? Okay. Martin Martinez Emos.
Martín Martínez.
Buenas tardes.
Good afternoon.
Yo soy portero en esta liga.
I am a goalie in this league.
Ahora no tengo que cuidarme de cuidar mi portería. Tengo que
Ahora,
cuidarme más de que tengo un poste a un lado donde me puedo golpear. No
Ahora
puedo
no.
jugar tranquilo ahí.
ahora no, perdón, no tiene que cuidarse.
No,
Está siendo sarcástico.
No. No.
tengo un
Being
tengo un
sarcastic, he's
poste
saying he
extra.
doesn't have to take care of himself from the goal,
Being scored on.
the being
Tengo otra
forward on, now
portería,
he has
ahora no
to
puedo
make sure that he has a
cuidar
forward
mi portería, tengo que cuidarme
from a pole.
de no golpearme
Or not use them to a post.
y luego que no me peguen de la otra del otro juego que está.
That they don't hit him from the other game that's behind him,
No puedo ir por el balón porque voy a interrumpir un juego.
and he can't go get the ball because he's gonna interrupt the game.
Ya se está interrumpiendo el juego porque se
And the
mete la.
game is already being
la bola
interrupted
del
when the ball, our ball goes into their game.
Además, yo estoy jugando el martes, el jueves y el sábado.
And playing Tuesday, Wednesdays, and Saturday.
Sí, y estoy viejo, tengo 54 años
I'm
ya.
old, I'm 53 years old.
Después de la pandemia pensé que yo no iba a regresar ya.
After the pandemic, he didn't think he was gonna return.
Ya sentía que ya me había
He felt
enfriado, ya,
that he got cold.
ya me siento que ya era mucho tiempo sin
It was
hacer
too
deporte.
long to play the
Bueno,
game,
trataba de caminar, de
the
correr.
sport. He tried to
Pero-
run and play or walk,
Para mucha gente es difícil hacer deporte.
but a lot of people, it's hard to play a sport.
Y con estas ideas sin sentido,
And with these
absurdas,
ideas, that these are absurd and they make no sense,
no está ayudando a la gente a hacer deporte.
it doesn't help the people to play a sport.
Gracias.
Thank you.
Deportino Rio.
Deportino, Carrillo?
He was the one that wanted to give the minutes to him, but he filled it out in Carrillo, right?
Oh, yes, yes, yes. So this is
And I
not.
changed my.
Okay, but then you can't give your minutes to, oh, you're somebody else.
No, I play with him, so I think that
Your
means,
name?
my name is Cesar James. So anyways, I've been playing with the team a few seasons, so I kind of new to the park. I really enjoy playing there. And it's interesting to see that you guys are worried about liability if someone gets hurt. But you know, guys, you don't think about the liability for the players. I don't even know if if the league has insurance for the players and the way that the fields laid out. The increase of injuries is a lot higher than before because of the layout. If everybody's in the middle trying to hit each other, in the last few games, we had more fight than we had in the last two seasons because of the shortness of the ball. It's always in the middle. Everybody's on the side that's too wide. So it's like, if you think the kid got a concussion, the players can get concussions as well. For playing so short and hitting the shoulder. A concussion is a risk with soccer, whether you're a spectator or you're a player. So it just doesn't make sense to think that you're gonna reduce the injury because of the dimensions of this field. It just doesn't
No
make
hace
sense.
caso que por
I
la
mean, frankly, I don't even play anymore because I don't enjoy it anymore. It's like our team has
un accidente, ya no
lost the
estoy.
flow of the game because it feels like disorganized. It doesn't feel right. You're playing like in such a wide field and everything's in the middle, but it's
No se
fighting.
siente
kicking.
bien, toda la gente está
So, you know, you should think about liability for the players because we're gonna get injured even more. We're not sure what the liability is for the league.
No sé qué
I don't
es.
even know if there is coverage, enough coverage for the players, but you think,
No sé
you
qué
worry
es.
about a kid,
Una
a kid,
desigualdad para los
like worry about the players as well, you know, safety is
También
very
tiene
important.
que
We're
pensar en
I'm
los
there just to
jugadores.
have fun, to get some exercise in. I don't want to come home and have to
Quiero-
call in to work
quiero
because
que-
I'm injured
Yo no quiero
because of the way
no ir a
it feels.
trabajar porque me ha lastimado
That's
en
all.
el deporte.
Thank you.
Gracias.
Okay, Bernal? No? And Deportivo Carrillo? Or no, oh, I see, that's item. Clemente Catino? Clemente? Is that someone?
Clemente.
Okay.
Clemente.
There was some people on this one. Hola, buenas tardes. Yo soy primero Clemente.
My name is Clemente.
Tengo unos 15 años jugando ahí un
I have 15 years playing
y desde que comenzaron a hacer esto,
as they
la verdad que
started
no me
to
dan ganas
change.
ya de ir a jugar
I don't feel like wanting to go play
porque
because
no tiene chiste jugar
there's no sense in playing
en esa posición que estamos.
in the position that it is now.
Yo tengo hijos
I have
que
children
entrenan también ahí,
that train
son
there
padres
too.
ahí, una niña de 6 años y
A little girl of 6 years
un niño de 13.
and a 13-year-old.
Todos tenemos el riesgo de que peguen,
We all risk being hit by,
nosotros tenemos que tener cuidado,
we just have to be careful.
cuidarlos ahí,
Be careful with them.
pero se
But
me quitan las ganas de ir a jugar allí
I don't want to play there
en la formación que nos ponen
in the formation that we're in or that they're placing us in.
y la verdad no está bien esto.
And he doesn't think this is right.
Esto que pongan atención,
Mhm.
para que le pongan atención,
Please pay attention.
es todo.
That's it.
Our Ames, Jaime?
Cesar Jaime? Cesar Jaime?
Oh, Gary went, okay. D Carrillo,
De Carrillo?
D Carrillo?
G?
Oh, I'm sorry. Somebody, for some reason on the item, they put Carrillo. I don't know why. Victor,
Victor?
Victor F or Victor E?
Victor F?
Okay.
Buenas tardes.
Good afternoon.
Mi nombre es Víctor y
My name is Victor.
yo igualmente como mis compañeros tenemos
Myself as my
el mismo tiempo cuando ustedes abrieron ese campo,
the same time that they opened the fields,
nosotros empezamos a jugar también ahí.
we started playing there too.
El problema
The problem
que yo para mí es que no
problem
tenemos
for me
una
is
aseguranza
that we don't have insurance
para nosotros los jugadores,
for us, the players.
porque sabemos muchos tal vez que sí nos hemos lastimado.
There is a lot of us that have been injured.
Tal vez yo vengo de trabajar
I come from work,
y muchos como yo
A lot of
vamos el
us.
domingo
we go to Sunday
para tirar el estrés,
to get
Y
rid of the
jugar un
stress
rato.
and play a little,
pero el lunes tenemos que empezar a trabajar.
but Monday we have to go back to work.
Para eso, a mí me gustaría si ustedes
For that, I would like for you
hablar con los
to speak
técnicos
with the
coach,
the coaches,
para si pueden hacer una aseguranza también para nosotros como jugadores.
if they can make an insurance for them as players. Seguranza médica?
Para si nos lastimamos
Lo médico.
de América.
A medical insurance for the players.
Y eso es todo.
And that's it.
Jose Rojas?
What's that?
Jose Rojas?
What's that, Rojas?
Mario Robles Richmond?
Mario Robles?
It's me, but I'll talk, yeah.
And Debbie, you're gonna want to talk with Jonathan? Suevas?
Jonathan Suarez?
That's a play.
Not good, okay. Erica?
Erika?
Oh.
Hello. My name's Eric Hogan. I've been playing for 6 or 7 years now. One of the big changes that has affected me recently is the gate being locked in Loring Ranch. When I come in for my game, there's a huge back of the traffic trying to come in and out with one exit. And it seems like in an emergency, that could be a real liability. I don't know if it was complaints from the houses, but even if that small gate on Loring Ranch could be open until 8:30 and then close, or 8:15 when most of the youth teams have cleared out, and there's not as much traffic, I think that would be much safer. If they're worried about traffic parking outside the houses, maybe they could just limit it to the side closest to the fields, and it wouldn't be such a noise hazard or whatever the complaint was. Secondly, the restrooms being closed. As a woman who's had 2 kids, the bladder does not work like it used to. And if we're paying for the fields until 10 p.m., and the lights till 10 p.m., it would be lovely if the restrooms, at least one restroom could be open until 10 p.m. as well. I've also played soccer at the high school, college, and semi-professional level. I've coached at the AYSO club soccer and high school level. And we always try and avoid having goals back to back. People are shooting at players who are not facing them. It's a real liability. And we know a lot more about concussions now than we did years ago. So I would hope we would take that into consideration with the change. No one wants to suffer a brain injury when it can be avoided. Thank you.
Angelo Esteva.
Good evening. I wish to express my concern and appeal to the board to return the field to the orientation that had been used for over 13 years prior to the recent rule changes. I have always been proud to be part of our soccer community, and for many years, the previous field orientation has contributed to the success and positive experience of our community. However, the recent changes have had several negative effects, which I believe are not in the best interest of our organization and its members. These effects include the disheartened participation of members, as some teams and players are discouraged by the alteration in playing conditions, a disruption of established routines and field dimensions, which has made it difficult for members to compete efficiently and adapt safely, as the risk of injury has significantly increased for teams and players, and a negative impact on community spirit. The changes have created confusion and frustration among members, affecting the strong sense of community and camaraderie that has existed in our organization for many years. Considering these negative effects and the expenses required to play, I kindly request that the board strongly reconsider the decision to change the field orientation and return to the previous layout that has been successfully used for over a decade. I believe this change would be fair and just and benefit our members by restoring consistency, safety, and the positive community that our organization has thrived on. Thank you for your time and consideration.
Linda.
Good evening, directors. My name is Dr. Robert Lennox. I'm a 45-year resident of Riverside County. I've been a regular patron of the sports complex since its construction. Active player of Triple R Sports League for the last 10 years, more than 10 years. Coach of youth sports teams at Practice Apple Complex for more than 7 years, and also a youth sports advocate. Providing this statement to you as a subject matter expert with 27 years of experience in local government. Currently, I serve as an assistant city manager for a Southern California, LA County city. Half of my career has been as a park and rec director in other agencies. Just want to use the time to address some of the assertions made in staff report. First, and I'm going to quote staff report. This is staff report says this is created incidents where an errant ball to an adult game can hit spectators and players and on adjacent fields. There's a reference in the staff report to CAPRI as well as JPA, Joint Powers Authority, Insurance Risk Management. So the question for the board to consider is, has CAPRI and or the JPA or your district legal counsel provided an interpretation of California Government Code 831.7, which gives a level of liability immunity from claims and actions against public agencies and their operators who maintain and operate recreation facilities. The code clearly states and outlines that the risk that participants and spectators assume when patronizing facilities essentially removes that liability from the operator. One strategy I think was mentioned earlier was to post signs to provide an additional layer of protection to those spectators. Another quote, staff has reached out to the architect who designed the complex. The architect in question is RHA Landscape, and the principal owner is a colleague and friend of mine. It is misleading to suggest that the design of the facility was not such to accommodate such cross-field play. Had the county requested cross-field striping at the time of design, the architect would have easily accommodated. There's no design standard or green book requirement for cross-field play to require mitigating nets or barriers for spectators or anyone else on the sidelines. Another point made in the staff report, Silver Lakes in Norco does not have many adult groups currently, but when they did, there was a net set up between fields for this issue. That is not true. This false statement as a all midweek play by adult leagues at Silver Lakes do use cross-field play and does not have any barriers or additional safety measures for players or spectators on the ends in line behind the short-sighted goals. I played in that league for many years, and the owner operator is a personal friend of mine as well. Got my time? Thank you.
Wants to go next, Mario? And Debbie has been given Mr. Rojas this time, so she has up to 6 minutes.
Thank you, everybody. I'm here again for a month Estoy aquí otra vez por un mes. Una cura.
There's nobody.
There is nobody here, right? Okay, sorry. Sorry, it's just like, I can't. So, as you know, I have been there for over 13 years, and I have never had to actually deal with a management so difficult. We get blamed for other user groups' mistakes without evidence. Then when we advise them, they say, oh, sorry, it was maybe somebody else. But at the same time, now it's recorded in an email how we are blamed for something that we didn't do. And we always, if there is an issue, we always are the first to find solutions. There has never been a time that we don't find solutions for an issue or a problem. Also, when we play from 8 to 10, we get on the field at 8:15 because the prior user groups are not getting off in time. But then we get blamed to put our equipment on the fields before our time, which is not the case. We do get blamed for that every time. This is not just Mondays, this is also Tuesdays, Wednesdays, Thursdays, and Fridays. We, as all the people here, feel that we are getting pushed out in many ways, as you all know and all have heard of the horrible things that we have been going through. I'm not gonna talk about playing the wrong way. Like Cody says, we should be playing the right way. I only think there is a right way to play on the soccer field. The ball is gonna go out all sides. Last week, we had to come to the conclusion that other times that Kobe's maintenance group was advised to break our balls and nets and put them away for scraps. And we emailed them, and it takes them days and days for a response. This has actually big time affected my health in many ways. It has been now for the last 2.5 years that we have been with the new management. The 10 years before that, we had never any issues. I don't really know what
current management wants from us. I actually, in the beginning, started working with Kobe's employees in how we actually run the park there, because they didn't know how to schedule or do any of that, or how it used to be. And we also have issues with invoices. Every month, our invoice is just wrong. Is always, I always have to ask my coworkers, can we please check the invoice? And then they only give me 10 days to pay it. But then they take forever to respond to corrections or mistakes that are on the invoice. So to keep it short, I don't know if this management is actually capable of managing. I don't think they have the right people at this time in charge that can actually give good direction to the staff and park rangers, whoever is there in charge at the time of the night. I just would consider really to take a look at yourself, Kobe, and please stop, please. That's all I have to say. Thank you.
Maria? And of course, you have 6 minutes because Mr. Correa gave you 3 minutes.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you for your time. I think you have heard it. This seems to be something very personal. We welcome Kobe with an email at the very beginning. He's been rude to our people. He's been rude to us. We don't understand why. A few months ago, we saw him put a banner saying we're starting our own leagues, which kind of put it all together. He's been trying to kick us out, already suspended us on Sundays. There's alcohol, not alcohol, but beer. And every league in Southern California, because people drink beer and we don't allow it, we emailed everybody, yet we got suspended and kicked out of the Sunday league. There's other leagues, they drink. He put somebody else, allow somebody else without experience to take over Sundays. They took our team, they still drink, right? But we were blamed, even though we offered to bring security, we offered to pay for it, we offered to bring a golf cart, we offered to do it all, even though we're not a security company. We were told no. Yet we got blamed, we got pushed out. We have to run a league, we have people running the league, we cannot be chasing people around. When he came around, the way he treated it was more like the military. He kicked bags around, he opened coolers, he yelled at us like we were kindergartners. I couldn't believe it when that happened. That's not the only issue, right? I think these are simple excuses. If you don't understand soccer, you can understand people complaining when things don't make sense, and this doesn't make any sense. Dr. Lennox just explained the liability is waived for employees in the parks, and he quoted really well. Yet the liability that he says is what he's protecting has increased tenfold. Now we're risking getting hit ourselves and have a concussion because he says, oh, these kids are getting hit and there's been fights. Yet in 10, 11 years, there was nothing. And where's this coming from? Right? We have a lot of problems right now. We've been treating like, we're being treated like second-class citizens, pretty much. As an organization and as a league with a couple thousand members. We get blamed for everything. We have the email. They don't ask, did you casually? No. You did this. And if you don't stop, we're going to remove you from the park. Yet they find out later that it wasn't us. Because it wasn't us. We had a meeting with Kobe in this office where we wanted to try to find answers and solve this ridiculous issue. And he said to me, and I quote, you don't like it? Find another park. That was his answer. The members that have been running and playing in this organization for over a decade. And as you've heard it, we never had problems. If something came up, a bathroom that closes at 9:30, by the way, it's a problem for the ladies and we've been trying to solve it. It will get solved in days, easily. The ladies want to play, the moms and the grandmas want to play at 7 o'clock, not at 9. The park would say, that's a reasonable request. Go take care of your children. Go take care of your kids. No, with COVID, it's no, you play at 8 or 9 or get out. Something as simple as the gate being closed. I have seen people die because the emergency, the ambulance, the emergency workers show up 2-3 minutes late. Oh no, this gate is going to be closed. No discussion. We have not been able to put a suggestion that is valuable. He says, no. When I told him the parents need to move to the other side if they're getting hit in the back of the head, because think about this, they're sitting behind our goal. I said, just go to the other side. There's nothing going on. He said, I'll get back to you on that one. Never did. Never did. Kobe welcomed us to his administration of the parks. Right after COVID, he took all our goals, destroyed them, and threw them away like trash. These are $700 aluminum goals. 2 were stolen by me. I'm not going to accuse anybody, but I'm imagining the workers took them and thought it was trash. When I told him, he said, not my fault. Things get lost and stolen all the time. Daniel Campaña, however, had emailed saying it was our mistake. Sorry, but we said, we have no responsibility in a really strange, unusual tone for JARPD. And that was our initial experience with COVID. We have lost over $500,000 as a nonprofit organization, which we have expelled employees. We have lost 20, 40, 60 teams, 40 teams on Sunday, 25 teams during the week. People you heard it, they don't want to play anymore. It's their release after work. This is what we do, this is what we know. And somebody who doesn't know about soccer is coming back to make suggestions on how to change to solve a problem that didn't exist 10 years ago. And now the problem is really serious. This, ladies, you heard it from older men getting hit on the back of the head. I guess we don't count, it's not irrelevant. One kid got hit somewhere. And that's more important than everybody else now getting a concussion. We don't understand. And I'm telling you, we figured it out when Kobe put the banner, we're going to run our leagues. He was just trying to create space, get rid of us, bring the members and say, now you come back to us. I don't know what there might be a benefit hidden somewhere. We truly don't understand. But from the get-go, this has seemed to be a very personal issue. Unfortunately. We should be here. We should be with our families, like the gentleman said. We should be having dinner with the kids. And you should be talking about more serious things. Don't fix something that is broken. There's no need to waste time doing that. My time is up.
6 minutes.
Thank you.
Yeah. Did board members want to break, or did you want to go ahead and do follow-up questions with staff and audience? Asking. No?
Oh, I just want to thank you for all the information and personally, I've listened and I'm sorting it in my head as we speak. There are very serious things that you have presented to us tonight, and I, for myself, have not taken that lightly, and I'm sure that my colleagues have not. I know that you sent me a packet, so I researched this. That's my duty as my position. I wanted to make sure I had enough information. Soccer is not my game, so I wanted to exclude myself with that. But I didn't want the facts, and your people seem to have come forward. So it's not he said, she said. We brought the people that we needed to listen to. So I thank them for bringing that to our attention. So I'm really overwhelmed at this time. I don't know what my colleagues might say, but I certainly am. So thank you.
Godinez?
Just as Rebecca had finished, I can feel overwhelmed with the information. Obviously, there's several sides to the story. but we want to get this right. So again, the wheels are turning in my head, rest assured, and we'll come to a decision soon, if not tonight.
Thank you. Mr. Leach?
Yeah, I took several notes. I'll be the first to admit, I am not a soccer player. I was a baseball player. My extent of soccer is watching the World Cup when it comes on. So I need to really, I'm having a hard time understanding all the comments about the field of play and the layout. Everything that I've researched and looked at through FIFA and other organizations is a soccer field is played lengthwise longer than it is wide. So a lot of the comments that I've heard from the players here is pretty much the opposite of what that states. So I'm having a little bit of trouble trying to absorb all that myself, because what you guys are doing kind of goes against all the rules of professional soccer. I know you're not professional, okay, but it kind of goes against all that. So that's one of the areas that I'm going to really be having to consider. As far as liability issues go, I agree. Every sport, I think all players obviously assume liability. In a lot of sports, spectators do. However, a baseball was brought up a lot. And yes, there's a thing on the ticket that says you assume a certain amount of reliability. However, imagine the difference if they didn't put up the netting behind home plate, how much more people would be injured. So it is the providers, whether it's Major League Baseball or us, it is our responsibility to do what we can to mitigate the damages as much as possible, which I think is part of what we're discussing here. So that's another point that I'm going to be considering. As far as the drinking comments go, it is the leagues, whether it's your league or any other leagues, it is their responsibility to police their own players. And there is no drinking allowed in public parks. And if there is drinking going on, it is the league's responsibility to police that and take control of that. And if whether or not that was or was not done, I'm going to have to research a little bit more to be honest, to know the difference. As far as us, the other point I put down here, as far as us having a banner up advertising the formation of leagues, I would think a league such as your own that promotes and loves soccer would have no problem seeing other leagues form and other leagues being promoted. I think that would be something that you guys would want to do to promote other leagues playing. As far as the issue, because it was brought up quite a bit concerning restrooms and the egress points to gates, I actually agree with all of you. And I think the restroom should be open as long as play is happening. And I do agree that it would probably be a safety issue to only have one egress point. So that's something I would definitely bring up with staff on my end. And those are the points that I want to let you know that I kind of took from all this. There was a lot of talk, a lot of things were the same comments, different people, but those were the 7 particular points that I actually wrote down that I'm going to have to do a little bit more research on before I make any real decision on my point. So I hope you guys all understand that.
I do want to add one point with my colleague. I want you to also understand that those behaviors that you have mentioned will definitely be looked into. It is not who we are, that's not who we want to be, and that's not what we wanted to convey to the community. So should it be factual? Here's, we're going to look at this information that no, that we don't want you to walk away from here thinking that's who we are. That is not who we are. We are here for you. We're here for the community. We are here for people to come and use our facilities. You mentioned that you pay for using it, and we thank you for that. And we want that to continue. I look to for this to be a win-win for all, children, adults, all that has been mentioned. Getting a little carried away with my voice as well, and I apologize, but please do not go away thinking that we have not heard you. We have heard you. Very definitely, we've heard you.
Mr. Pestle.
Are we able to ask questions to the audience? Well, first of all, thank you all again for coming and expressing your concerns. I myself have played in those, actually within Triple R. I stopped playing last year. I know the old format that was there. I haven't gone, so I'm not really familiar with the new format. I do have questions though. There were some comments made. One of the themes that came up with, I think that's personal. Why do you all think it's personal?
That's good. That's cool.
So,
Interesting.
yeah, but from your experience, what is it? What
It's
is
doing changes that we're not supposed to do because, like I said, I was broken, my face. I think it's, if you go to the park, I think it's more dangerous that you're going to get parked and the exit is closed. You have to back up. I drove a big truck. I think it's more dangerous that a kid is in the back of me, run over a kid, than getting hit by a wall. I think that's more dangerous, having the door closed, that changing the lanes because somebody got hit. That's how I see it. It's more dangerous because once you get to the end of the street where the gates close, I drove a big truck, completely. And I see a lot of big trucks, working trucks. You have to back up because there's no way that you can do and make a U-turn. It's more dangerous that you get kids to when they finish their practice, they run to the cars. I think that's more dangerous than changing the layout because somebody got hit. And that's where we make it personal. I said there's more things more dangerous than the fields. It's the parking.
For the board, like an explanation on the gate.
You're gonna finish asking the question. Okay. So do you all feel it's personal towards the adult leagues in general, or your league specifically, or towards a specific person?
We believe this towards our league for some reason. No, we don't know the actual reason, but when you analyze the timeline, the decisions that have been made, and I think Ross said something very important. We're not concerned about other leagues forming. We're concerned about getting kicked out for silly reasons so that he can run or you can run the local leagues, right? So the whole thing has been misinterpreted because it doesn't make sense. He talks about safety. You know, somebody got hit in the head. Okay, well, let's talk about it. No. We're going to change it this way and create an even higher risk or danger. That doesn't make sense at all to anybody, right? So when you start analyzing that, you kicked us out of the Sunday league, instead of blaming the individuals who are drinking,
Right, the two people.
there was two people and there was another group.
Now it's like 600 people.
I'm talking, excuse me. If he comes and kicks the league out, instead of us making the parties that are drinking responsible, we don't have a problem with that. We suggested to bring a golf cart. We suggested that we will pay from our pocket. How about an individual, a third party investigating? Because you see, we're running a league. We cannot be going every 5 minutes with somebody sneaking a beer out. It's 110 degrees outside. We cannot be responsible for that all the time. We can communicate it. We can remind them. We can find them. I mean, I even called the police on them, but they're our customers. I can't be calling the police on them every time this happens. And we get 20, 30 new people every Sunday. There's a lot of people that want to play. So there's the reasoning behind it doesn't make any sense. The way he treats people, the way he yells and the way he screams, it's like, you should be in the military, not running a park and working for a community, right? The way he addresses when we get our goals trashed by a wrong decision, which I assume was his, because Damien Campagna said, it was our wrong decision, sorry. He goes, it's not my responsibility. Goals get stolen. And I'm like, what is happening?
Okay, so just to answer my question, you feel it's the league? That's.
You know, Kobe had actually a good thing that he said last time. Says he has no other problem with any other adult league but ours. That's what that's his own words from earlier.
All right,
I have never
that was
heard
my
any,
question.
just people are, no,
What are the
because you are the one.
moving the date further? Another question I had towards you all. With goalies, you're saying there's safety in terms of safety concerns about
Yes.
goalies with any trouble. Concisely, what is the concerns of goalies?
The goals are back to back now, like this. We used to play, picture it,
So
right?
it's like this, goal to goal, correct? Here's a goal.
So here,
and
no,
here.
see these right here?
There's not a good picture of it. but-
Just put the red one that was there. That one? So basically you have the two, this right here playing like this. There's a goal here and another goal here. So these guys are shooting this way, but these people here, these players are facing that way. Get it? And the shots are coming from here and this way.
It's in the middle.
So they're right there, goal to goal behind each other. And the defenders are taking.
When I got away and the guys are tuning that way, everybody in the back is getting hit.
So
Now it's worse. Now it's everybody.
we need to have one person answer the question. Having everybody talking over each other and trying to tell us what's going on is not helpful. So just pick a person and then have them tell us.
So it's simple. You played there before. The two fields were going in the same direction, right? Which is west, east, to west. Now he wants us to play north to south, which is now we have to play the right way you play 11 on 11 on half a field. So all the side space is wasted. Everybody's crunched up in the middle, and the two fields are now back to back. So when you shoot on your field, hits the goalie, and you miss, you hit the goalie on the other side. So the liability increases tenfold. It's not a real solution at all, right? Not to mention that we played over 10 years and there was no real issue. Now there's more people, there's other suggestions that we have made that make more sense, that will really avoid, there's always going to be somebody gets hit with the ball, right? But it's going to minimize it even more. It's already very minimum, but the moment you change it, now, boom, liability increases. We just read also the terminology from the city and the county, how there's no liability.
Okay, that's going on to the question. So,
Okay, sorry.
Mr. Tesoro, you have one question?
Can I just get stats, answer to those?
Yeah, which one would you like to start with?
We'll start with the goal safety and then.
So in regards to when we first met with Triple R Sports back in April of this year, and then let them know that the intent of the meeting wasn't really for the direction of play. It was to deal with billing issues, payments that were behind because of it, and clarifying what was going on there. And that's when they were informed of the direction of play. They were obviously, they were upset in regards to it. At that time, and recently after I have emailed for it, in which we informed Triple R and Mario specifically, if this is creating a liability, in your opinion, stop play immediately. We will not charge you for the field use. We will not give your fields away, and we will sit down and see what we can come up with for other alternatives. He said, no, we want to play as it, we just want to play right now, and went on from there. We have not told them they have to play. It's going to sound contradictory. We have not told them they have to play like they are now. We just told them they can't play east to west. They are using the sidelines of the normal field for their sidelines now. They could narrow it down like the alternate layout shows. That would bring the game back into proportion. It's not as large as field as what they were playing on. And we understand that. The other option they have is they can play one game per field and shrink it that way. But it does accommodate their league structure where they're playing two games per field. The reality is with the goose going on out there, it wouldn't be able to accommodate them that way. So imagine putting one of these fields kind of in the middle, going north and south. So that didn't accommodate them as well. So that's where that comes from with the back-to-back.
Could you explain the gate being closed?
So the gate has been closed because of the excessive consumption of alcohol in Loring Ranch. The league has done a good job of informing their people they can't be at the park and drink.
And it's not just their league.
It's not just their league. It was all, other than the youth, it was all leagues. They would leave the park and park on Loring Ranch and be drinking out there. There's dozens and dozens of complaints from code enforcement, from the residents within Loring Ranch complaining about it. the beer bottles left on the street. And working with the city code enforcement, the Riverside County Sheriffs and CAL FIRE, the discussion was made of closing the Loring Ranch gate Monday through Friday, and on Sundays. CAL FIRE Chief Mike signed off on it. Lieutenant Sexton signed off on it. There's knock boxes in place as well as CAL FIRE knocks locks on the gate should there be an emergency to access it. The reality is coming from Station 17 on Mission, they'd be coming from Riverview anyways. So CAL FIRE and Riverside County Sheriff didn't have a concern with that. It is open on Saturdays all day. The other reason for the closure was not just the consumption of alcohol, but that parking lot does not have speed bumps, which everybody can attest to. And locals, non-soccer players, like 100% support this, are cutting through the parking lot, flying through there like it is a racetrack. It was a safety issue with the kids going in and out through the parking lot. That was the determination made to close that. We've recently had some discussions about opening it prior to 8 o'clock. And closing it at 8 o'clock. Essentially, the challenge that's existing now is most of the youth practices end at 8 o'clock. And that's when the adults are coming in. They're coming in 7:45 type of a deal. Parents are coming back to pick up kids 7:45. It's a huge influx of traffic. A majority of the problems is coming from the youth leagues. Parents pulling up to the red curb there and parking, waiting for their kids to come up. We have it. We have surveillance cameras. It's one specific league because they all wear the same matching shorts. We know who it is, and we have been working with them on that to get it to stop. Security is out there, and we're adding it throughout the week more to help stop this. And then closing that gate at 8 o'clock. One of the other issues we are looking at, and we're not, I don't want anybody to jump the gun and say that we are looking at this happening, but we are considering having the youth leagues end a few minutes before the top of the hour, say like 7:50, 7:55, and the next group not coming on till 8:05 to help put a buffer in there to allow for the ingress and egress of the park. It'll help a little bit. It won't solve it. You know, adults get there, you want to stretch and stuff before your games, we understand that. Looking at options for that. That was not done as a measure against an adult group. That was a safety issue, and it was in response to complaints coming from the residents of Loring Ranch in regards to the alcohol. And again, that was because the leagues were doing what we'd asked in addressing the consumption of alcohol, and they're leaving the park property. As the park district, we can't control what goes on in the street. It's out of the league's control now. They left the property. It's a double-edged sword for both of us when it comes to that. But it has addressed that situation.
I do have after you finish, I don't want to lose my place here.
Okay, well, I haven't even gone yet, so I'm next.
I'll lose my thought.
Yeah. Another question for you, I'm sorry.
Yes, Bob?
Bob's on the line.
Bob's on the line.
Someone, I don't know if y'all are able to answer this. Someone mentioned code 831.7 in regards to liability.
Yes. I can address that. The government code does provide some insulation for liability for hazardous activities. And it is 831.7. Mr. Lennox, I believe, was the gentleman who brought that up. And I'm sure with his vast experience, he knows that that is the beginning of the analysis, not the end of the analysis. We have many other activities that we do not allow, even though we could claim to be absolutely immune from liability under that code section. But the reality is it's not an absolute immunity, that when the conduct of the district will always be examined in any lawsuit that involves a serious death, injury, or death. And I have not provided any formal opinion. I don't know if Capri has. I have not been asked to. Frankly, I think Capri's opinion would be more important than mine, because if there is an accident and a lawsuit, Capri is the one that you will ask to defend it, not me. And they're the ones you want to make sure are on board for that. Does that address your question?
Yeah. Yeah, it does. Thank you.
You're welcome.
And, I'll leave it at that for now.
At our last meeting, we had, strongly recommended that somebody meet with staff. I know a meeting was set, but then it was canceled and it was never reset. So I was just curious why no one met with staff.
Yeah, we set up the meeting for one of these past Mondays. Our staff was unable to be present that day, and then we were not able to reschedule.
Thank you. What I took away from a lot of what people said tonight is there is a danger from being hit by a hard kick soccer ball. And it seems like it's more of a danger if it's coming from behind when you're not expecting it, which is exactly what I would expect. It would be the issue. One person said that they didn't want, one goalie said she didn't want a life-threatening injury, and another person said we know so much more about concussions and brain injuries now. And that was said by many, many people about the concerns within your own group. And of course, for me, that is a concern for your group, and it is also a concern for anybody else that's in the park. And so I think that is something that's very important that we need to address, that no one should be in danger, not you or small children or their parents or anybody else. One thing I did want to mention, I know it seems like an easy fix to tell the AYSO parents just go on the other side and be over there, but AYSO, how many of you have been involved in AYSO? Yeah. You know, it can get a little ugly sometimes. And so for purposes of keeping the two teams' parents apart on opposite sides of the field, that's why they don't want them all on the same side of the field. Cause issues between the parents of the two different teams by keeping them apart. You cut down on those issues. I'm just telling you, that is what I've been told. That's one of the reasons why what seems like a simple fix is not necessarily the simple fix that we might think it is. That is all I have to say at the moment, other than, yes, I have absorbed what you said, and I think it was a very interesting meeting and a really great exchange of information, and I really appreciate you all being here. What is the board's pleasure?
I wonder one more question.
Oh, that's right.
You mentioned the different people that have signed off for the different changes in terms of the gate and the traffic and all. Did we not put a sign up saying that, and forgive me, I don't really know the term, that the ordinance was in regards to the alcohol or beer being consumed? Is it not, as I understood when you brought it back when that, you know, that was going on, that we were not going to be the police, we were going to control to what we could control. But at what point was it now cited to the individual? I mean, you can't drink in public, so in terms of those people doing it, wasn't it going to be that they then would be, you know, issuing tickets and that type of thing? Not any kind of conversation to get confrontational. I didn't understand it that way. If I understood that people were going to try to take care of it, that's never the solution. So did I misunderstand that sign is not going to do anything for us other than to let them know that that is not acceptable?
So there's signs at every shelter in English and Spanish. Alcohol is not permitted at any public park. As the park district, we do have the ability, if we have the appropriate personnel for citation of our ordinances. That's something that the district has never explored, and hiring essentially a park ranger. That's who we would have to cite that. City code enforcement would not come into our property. They can, even though it's a public facility, they consider it private property because it's not a city-owned facility or public right-of-way. So they would not be able to cite for the consumption of alcohol. Riverside County sheriffs could. Frankly, we all understand they are underfunded here in Hoopa Valley. They have cited for parking violations in the past, but I do not know if they've ever responded to a consumption of alcohol and physically wrote a ticket.
And the last one I think I have, and I would think you have, so I will put it out there to you. Because much much that has been said was about you, and they did not hesitate to use your name. They did not hesitate to describe the incident. Would you like to explain to us, if you would or wouldn't, I mean, you think you should have your hearing?
Is it in regards to the Sunday incident, the
Well,
consumption of
no,
alcohol?
no, they spoke of your manner, they spoke of your confrontation to them, they spoke of you kicking the fine.
The Sunday incident, that
Well,
was,
I think it's an overall, because it was a common comment by many, if you heard it once or twice, and, I kept looking at you, because like, well, there was an attack being made to you, sir.
Mrs.
Do you
Byrne,
have an
this
answer?
is a personnel question that you're asking.
Well, I don't
And I think
so.
it's appropriate. Yes, it is. You're asking one of our people who work for us to
I didn't
explain their
believe-
actions.
Right.
And that is something that you don't do in a public hearing.
I want
You
to
do
know
it?
if you want to speak to that.
Yeah.
I don't think that he's been able to.
If you
I'm
want
not gonna speak to the, necessarily your question, but I will, but the claims made for that specific Sunday, in which was essentially their final straw. They had been notified by a couple of individuals that were out there that Sunday that there was a lot of drinking going on. I went out there to investigate it, and it was not one or two people. Martin was actually there on site. I found him sitting under the shelter with a couple other either participants or colleagues that day. Their field monitor or supervisor for the day was actually playing in a game, was not monitoring as they should be. It was trash bags that were full of beer cans. There were alcohol out and in abundance in beer cans, beer bottles. I went over, I did find Mr. Robles and brought him over there. Showed him what was going on. There, at one time, were signs at the soccer park that said ice chests are subject to search. They have been removed for whatever reason. I do not know what happened to them. But yes, we did flip over some ice chests, open some ice chests, and saw, and they were that they had been drinking. And that was the last of the straw that they were removed. I can't tell you the current Sunday league, all three of them are on warning that if there's consumption of alcohol again found by staff, needs to be terminated again or two, and that came out 2 weeks ago. So it's not that they are being singled out.
Okay. So, what is the board's pleasure, and how would you like?
Madam President, I'd like to ask one more question to staff. If I may. You did a pretty good job of explaining the gate, and I feel better knowing at least the fire department was involved and proved it. Can you explain why the restrooms are closed early?
That is the first time I had heard of it. It's happened in the past, but it was brought up twice tonight. Miss Whitney has made notes and she's checking staff schedules. They're there till 10:30. There is no reason they should be closing the time before 10 o'clock.
Okay,
That will be
great.
addressed immediately.
Great, thank you. I appreciate that. Thank you, Madam President.
And can we address the signs that say ice chests are subject to search and put those out there? That's one of the notes that I was making, and I made the note out the bathroom as well. Okay, yeah. All right, what is the pleasure of the board to move forward?
Well, for me personally, I have some items here that I think I need to really look at a little more and research a little more before I make
Any decision?
any real decision on this.
Okay.
So it would be my liking to see this come back maybe in a couple of weeks. to the
I don't
board.
think that's.
Well, when we can,
Right. I just think in 2 weeks, you wake up, it's Monday and then it's Wednesday.
that's fine, whenever everybody agrees. I would like this to come back as another item and give us, I think as a board, I think a few of us would like to have a little more time to
To
research some of these questions and items,
speak to staff
and
and.
staff and
There's
everything.
specific information we can provide you with.
I will address that to you in an email, so.
I would like a formal statement from Capri addressing this issue.
Good idea.
Is it possible for staff and the league to have that meeting
Didn't happen.
that didn't happen?
I've offered a couple times and,
Can I speak?
Yes.
The problem with the meeting is that Kobe, as I explained before, we've been giving demands. It's not a discussion, and he said it very clearly. Let's meet, but this is not an option. We're not gonna change anything. So what meet? These solutions are not real solutions. You saw it today. We created more danger than we had before. People are leaving because this is not the real game they want to play. They paid to play, but now we're being imposed to play something else. And so.
I have a question.
I have
A
suggested,
question of the gentleman. Did you meet with any of the board members?
no,
Did you speak with any of the board members?
I received a phone call from one of the-
Myself, and then I was doing my research, which I felt was my position, and I shared that with Chloe. I do not know soccer. I do not know any of that, and I needed information. So yes, I gathered information for myself. Shared it with no one.
So there's no,
So
you
I-
feel like there's no,
No, we're obviously bringing the issue to the table to find real solutions. It's something that we're interested in. Right? But if it's gonna be a dictatorship style where, what we're gonna say it's not gonna count, it's just what he thinks. What's the point?
I suggest that we create a committee of Mr. Cadenas and Mr. Castellan, because they are familiar with the facility and they're familiar with soccer. And they, along with Mr. DeWitt
and the rest of staff.
and other staff members.
And that would be our park, recreation facility use committee as it is.
Okay.
I've been listed on it already.
That would be
I
my
like-
suggestion.
I like it, but I would like to be part of it as well.
Well, you can't because that would be a majority of the board and then
Oh,
it
that's
would violate the Brown Act. I'm sorry.
that works for me. Are you all open to that?
Yeah.
Yes.
You fine? Okay.
That's it for me.
Okay. Lord, I thought I had another question. Oh, no.
I do have a question.
Mhm.
One of that meeting, as you know, people are really unhappy. And the fact that you don't understand what everybody speaks about is because you don't understand the basics of the game, right? This is not rocket science. It's very simple.
But it needs to happen and
No, I understand. What I'm
I
saying
think
is,
you need to give availability to Mr. like 2 or 3 possible times and dates. And,
this takes like,
I mean, some of our board members do actually work over things, so they're probably late afternoons, probably the best time to meet.
we're flexible.
Okay.
We could schedule it with based on availability within the next week, as early as next week. If we can, depending on schedules.
So it's the park recreation, what is it called?
Park restoration, park. Help me, Sam. No,
Yeah, my brain's,
Facility.
recreation
use,
facility
yeah.
use policy.
okay. Okay, yes, and that's them anyway, so it works out. Okay. So is that, I think that concludes the board's.
Is there any specific guidance you are giving to the committee of things you would like to have discussed or looked at? Or is it an open slate?
I'm specifically talking about liability, because I mean, if it's a liability for an adult goalie to get hit in the back of the head, it's liability of a child to get hit in the back of the head, and we need to minimize all.
I personally want to discuss the options that were laid, alternatives, and then deeper discussion will be all about.
Any, Mr. Leach or Ms. Byrne, are there any specific things you want them to discuss with them?
Well, as I mentioned before, I'm very confused on the field layout versus the integrity of the game. Because my only experience again with soccer is World Cup and you see it, and that is played differently than what you guys play. So I'm trying to understand how it's felt that screws up the integrity of the game when that is actually the way the game was designed to play.
Mr.
So-
Lee, if I can, and I think Mario would agree with me on this. What they're saying is the way they're playing now is contradictory to the integrity of the game. by the field being wider than it is long. That is their, that is,
Are we not asking him to play a regular soccer field north to south?
No.
we are not dictating,
Can I explain it in 2 minutes?
please, I'm sorry.
Can I stand up and approach you?
Sure, because this is one of my hardest things here is to understand exactly the difference in the field of play. So by all means.
While he's doing that, Madam President, I want to confirm it's an ad hoc committee you're talking about that will exist only for this issue.
No, it's not. It's-
Right,
They're
so,
both already on
but
the.
it's been
one
standard
of the
field. It's
standing
length-
committees,
it's
it's
very
just
length-
standing.
Very
Now
good.
it
Thank you.
becomes lengthwise this way because we put goals in. This is the length and this is the width. On a regular field, it's just miniature.
So you're still playing length and the width is less. You're just playing. Because the ratio is the same. Okay. Right, is that you play this direction?
Yes.
Now everybody's trying to.
People that know it, will explain it to each other
Explains it much better.
instead of just
Explains it
one
much better.
trying to defend.
No, and these two gentlemen have played soccer many times. That's part of the reason I thought they should be.
Because see, I was looking at it as 2 goals
But I
back to
did
back.
not.
Like, I get it now. I get it. Very, that
Again.
was very helpful. Very helpful.
That answered your question.
Yes, answers my question.
Okay, so, we, have requested that the Park Facilities Committee and Mr. DeWitt and whatever staff he feels is appropriate would meet with, Mario and the people that he feels is appropriate, to have some discussions and see if there's some way we can hash this out. And I think that we should bring this back in a month, because then that gives time to get everything dealt with. Any questions? I did have, Mrs. Byrne mentioned she got a packet. Was that the same emails that we all received today?
Exactly, the same
Okay.
packet I sent everybody.
Okay. All right. I
Madam
just wanted
President,
to-
I think we just need to note there were 10 public comments received via email.
Yes,
9 were received from youth sports organizations in favor of the policy as the district has implemented now. 1 was received from Mr. Lennox, essentially the same thing that he spoke under his comments. And those would be added to the official record.
and then I think 21 emails from Mr. Richmond. I think it was 21, or was it 20?
To the members?
Yeah, that we got today. I think it was 20 or
I
21.
think it's 19, yeah.
Got it. I swear I got 20, but okay. You find the number here. So I just look at the last. Okay, I think we are done with that item, and we will move on to something far simpler, which is the resolution of the board of directors to declare surplus equipment. But would the board like to take a short break?
Yes, please.
Okay. And then you all don't have to stay and watch us.
Mario? Mario?
Are we drinking?
No. Oh, yeah, we're on break.
No, not a journey.
Depending on their availability, is there anything that does not work for you, Mr. Godinez? What's the earliest you'd be available?
Earliest 5 o'clock. I'm straight from.
The same.
That works.
And we have to look at the dates. What is your availability? That time?
Yes, those things are not right on. Where's
Monday, Tuesday.
no restrictions?
Any day works.
The AYC, I never knew.
Open up the time. This is really social.
Oh, yeah.
Very flexible.
Oh, okay. So, we don't know.
They have to be here in person.
So you want to add it?
You could do it via Zoom if you would like. I think it would be better here in person.
So busy.
So there's no limit on your
I
schedule
would
then?
like to take a trip
Okay,
there.
I will get you out an email tomorrow morning confirming it.
Every day?
It is a
So not Monday, Tuesday, Monday.
Friday, 8.
Monday or Tuesday. So legally, we have to notice it 72 hours in advance. So as long as we got it out. Yeah, we still can. Okay, sounds good. Thank you.
Are you out there? You're wait there with the.
So we'll have to do that.
Yeah.
Yes.
So like. He's probably. Yeah.
Oh, together to signing this. Thank you.
Good
Bye-bye.
night. Thank you for coming.
Here.
We on break.
Yes.
I do watch, so.
Got this one.
Yes, don't worry, everything will. Well. Sleep and I can't wake it up. I was thinking, yes. I was thinking. That's what there's a girl that's he was saying. So I guess I just didn't quite get that. There's some reason. I think once he showed it to you, I think I no, because you know where it's sort of regularly end to end, there are goals back to back. Yes. With the walkway down the middle. No, but they're playing. They're playing. Okay, now I get it. Now I don't disagree with what they're saying. I understand. I played soccer as a youth. I ran a youth league for my kids for a couple of years because nobody else would. I understand. I know soccer. I'm not good at it. I understand it. I don't know strategy and stuff. But I know to play the game. You know, it's I understand what they are saying. I don't disagree with their argument of the back-to-back play. It goes both ways. That's the problem.
And I just need to sometimes. Youth sports representatives at that meeting? Possible.
It's a public meeting. Anybody can come.
But can they be invited?
Yeah, we'll make sure they know. Yeah.
Now that I understand it, like, I understand it sooner.
I mean, I'm a visual learner. I don't get
And
it.
it's not playing the sport, you know, kind of makes a little bit of difference
Yeah,
too, so.
for sure.
But I just think it's our response, like I said, hope people get hit inside. But I believe it's our responsibility to mitigate that as much as possible.
We need to make sure we're not violating Brown Act stuff.
We're not.
Actually, I think we were, but now it's back. So. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, she did. And she just her bonus. Oh. Okay. Did you sign our,
Did you know? Oh, I'm sorry.
oh, where did I sign sheet? Or
It's going
signing?
around. Going around.
Oh, there, okay, thank you.
Now, as I said, I don't remember signing the sign sheet.
I thought it was something I need to sign as president, so I just opened it up like, oh, I need a, oh, crap.
Yeah, okay.
You know. Are you the one that put in that lovely white? Yeah, just slap a piece of paper down. A holder to me means there's some legal paperwork we have to sign, and that can be done at any time, but this. You can just slap it on the table, because otherwise, you know, like tonight, I'm like, oh, no. He has to know there's something. And it's like, would be too late.
Yeah, no, I made sure I did something before I came tonight, because I knew it was gonna be a long. The only difference is since I'm off work for a month.
Okay.
I don't have to get up early in the morning, so that helps.
I was at the 99 Circle and they had cinnamon roll cake, the cinnamon roll crop. Ooh, I have not.
Anybody has no objection, I'm gonna turn that AC back off because it's gotten a little chilly in
No,
here.
that's fine with that many people.
With all the people in here, I think it was fine, but now that it's all of a sudden, it feels like it's,
I
well, it said it's it says 69.
It's, yeah.
Okay, it's 9/11. Let's bring that. Just go ahead and make it quick. Yes.
This is the resolution to declare some surplus property. As you're aware, the board policy requires a resolution to declare surplus property. We would dispose of this on govdeals.com, which we are using now for our surplus property. We've had good luck with that so far. We have two mowers, one being a Easy Mark 72-inch ride-on, and the other one being a Green Machine electric 60-inch mower that we no longer need, that we are contracting all of our landscape maintenance out, as well as a old arc welder small trailer mounted that I don't know if even runs anymore, piece of property. So we're looking for approval on the resolution so we can surplus this out.
Are they the mowers from Rancho Rupa or no?
The one was at Rancho Rupa, the electric one was our backup that we had kept.
But we still have one at Rancho Rupa?
No, the one pictured there on the left, that's actually sitting on the soccer field there at Rancho Rupa.
So we will have no mowers.
We will have no mower we will have no mowers within the district anymore.
Okay, and you feel that's okay?
Yeah, we contract everything.
Okay. All righty. Anybody have any questions? Do I have a motion?
I will move the board of directors adopt resolution 2023-32 declaring surplus equipment and authorize the general manager to list them on govdeals.com.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All those opposed? Sorry, I was trying to decide if I should look at it. It was Andrew that made that second.
Yeah.
She was looking at it up. Okay, next is the First Amendment to our professional services contract with Barry Dunn for the Park and Recreation Master Plan, Mr. Dubé.
Yes, as you know, we're in our master plan process right now. And we've had staff had some discussions with the city. The city lacks a citywide trails plan. And we already had a portion of a trails plan within our master plan, which basically covered our trails, existing trails within parks or within streetscapes that we have. The reality is without a comprehensive trails master plan, it does not benefit us. The city asked if we could do something together since it would benefit us both. And since we had Barry Dunn on under contract already, we talked to them and asked them to provide a trails plan. The city will be paying for it in the amount of $90,564. And since we already have the agreement in place, we would be amending our agreement to that, and then we would be reimbursed for charges through the city. So, and the city council did approve this last week at their city council meeting. So we would just be waiting for the updated contract to come from Barry Dunn, and this would authorize me to sign that. And the city will be able to a purchase order essentially.
Okay, are there any questions or comments? Is there a motion?
I move the board of directors approve the First Amendment to the professional services agreement with Barry Dunn for the addition of a trails plan in an amount not to exceed $90,564 and authorize the general manager to sign all necessary documents.
I'll second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion passes 5-0. General managers report.
I'm going to forego that this evening.
Okay. Board comments, Mr. Castellan,
No comments were made.
Mr. Leja,
No comments this evening.
Mrs. Byrne. No comment. Mr. Cavines. Me, no comments.
Not even your cute
future committee meetings. Oh, I forgot. Yes, do you have that?
Yes.
I'm sorry, I know it's late, but I've got to show you this. In case, so for those of you who don't know, what, 3 weeks ago now, the staff came to work to discover a cardboard box by the door of the district office. When they opened the cardboard box, they discovered there were 2 kittens and a scoop of adult cat food. These kittens are probably only about 4 weeks old. Knowing that I am involved in kitten fostering with Room 8 Memorial Cat Foundation here in River Valley, Mr. DeWitt reached out to me. I ended up with the kittens. Unfortunately, one of them had something terribly wrong with it and died in less than 24 hours. But I'm happy to report that the other one is thriving and will be available for adoption to a home. After having been fixed and vaccinated and all those wonderful things that you do with a kitten before it goes to its new home. And we are going to be putting this out to staff. It is a boy. His name is Parker because he was found at the Parks District. And he is a tuxedo kitten with that adorable thing where they have a black face, but their eyebrow whiskers and their regular whiskers are all white. And he is an absolute delight. And no foster failure, people. I've got 4 cats. Is that everything?
It'll open shortly here, but you get the gist.
Okay. Anyway, we will be putting it out there. I'm hoping that amongst our 100 some odd staff that somebody will want this kitten. All costs will be covered. They will not have to pay an adoption fee through Room 8. Yes, was severely undernourished, but he is now getting chunky there. So he is just.
He looks a lot better.
Yeah, he looks a lot better. He is absolutely adorable. So anyway, I'm hoping someone in the Parks District will adopt him so I can let him go without sobbing. So anyway, I will be bugging you guys about this cat until this cat is adopted. So there you go. Anyway, that being said, it is 9:18. Do we have future committee meetings that we want to?
We have a park planning scheduled for next Thursday morning at 10 a.m. And then we are going to be scheduling a rec facilities meeting here. Hopefully we can iron out some dates here shortly and we will get that published.
Perfect. And then of course, our next board meeting is October 26th. The one after that is November 9th. Are you all ready for me to? Okay.
Yep.
9:18, we will adjourn.
Bye, everybody.
Thank you, Bob.
Mhm.